Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. It's Manchester United versus Chelsea in the Premier League, and we couldn't be more excited if we were really excited because Man City have dropped points today. So look, this Premier League and top four is open to whoever wants it and whoever can find some consistency first. That is the reality. We're a little bit early tonight because we've got the team news. Well, there's a leaked team that's out again, which we'll talk about in a moment. But look, yeah, I was just sat about waiting, and I thought, sod it. You know, I can sit about watching Soccer Saturday with Jeff Stelling, or I can go live and talk about the thing I'm really excited about, which is Manchester United playing Chelsea this evening, 5:30 kickoff. Team news is coming out in about 19 minutes' time, so smash a like on the video and make sure you get involved. Big shout out as well. Boohoo Man are sponsoring the watch along again for us. I'm wearing some of their clobber, as you can see. I'm stylish in anything, but I'm very stylish in the Boohoo Man range, which you can get. Link in the video description for you. And on top of that, 40% off exclusively for United Stand viewers when you use the link in the video description and you type in United Stand as your checkout code. And if that wasn't enough, they're giving away an £800, yes, 800 voucher to one of you lucky people. All you got to do is click the link in the video description, submit your details by clicking the link to enter, and a winner will be picked at random on Monday lunchtime and announced on the 8 o'clock show on Monday night. So an £800 voucher from Boohoo Man, free to enter, links in the video description. Get involved with that. Big shout out to them. And let's hope it's Chelsea tonight who are the Boohoo Men, because we want them crying. We need to win. We need to win. I'm not Boohoo Bridge, Sorab. That's next Saturday, Halloween, on the download. Why is no one considering 4-2-2-2 as a formation? Well, look, thanks to Boohoo Man for sponsoring the show. Let's get on with that show. And the team news, the reason I've gone live a little bit early is because there is a leaked team again. And this is from a different source from last week that was leaking it out. And they have been right in the past. And they're basically saying that the team is the same team as Newcastle last week. And I actually, look, I'll be surprised if they're wrong on this one, because I think that it does make a lot of sense that would be the team. Now, look, I've put a team there. I don't think that will be the team. I would like it to be the team, but I don't think it will be the team. You know, Mata, Pogba, Rashford. And obviously you've got Bruno there, McTominay, Fred, Telles, Lindelof, Twansebi, Wan-Bissaka and David De Gea. I'd love that to be the team, but I don't think it will be the team, if I'm absolutely honest with you. And the league team is that it will be the team that played against Newcastle last week, which would mean obviously David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof and Maguire with Luke Shaw at left back, Fred, McTominay, Bruno, Mata, Dan James and Rashford. Now, look, I think Ollie's earned the right to pick whatever team he wants to pick. He's the manager of Manchester United. Would I sit here and say I'm very happy with that team? Would you sit and be very happy with that team? For me, you've just got to go with it. In my mind, you've just got to go with whatever team he picks. You know, he got it right against Newcastle and he got it right against PSG. And the players that have come in and gone out for those games have played well. So I'd have to go with what the manager says. But what I would say is that it seems wrong to me that we're playing a team that's quick up front and we take our quickest centre-back out of the team. It feels wrong to me to change a team that played so well against one of the world's best teams. And it feels wrong to me that on the bench you would have Telles, Greenwood, Pogba, Van der Beek. And in the starting lineup you'd have Mata and Dan James. It just doesn't make sense to me, that. But we're a football team. We're not an individual team. So, yeah, I suppose in some ways that does make sense. Matt says, I don't care who starts tonight unless it's Dan James. He's just not smart enough and we need to be clinical tonight. Sorry, Ricky, says Matt. Well, look, the league team is that it will be that team. Van der Beek deserves a start, says Kush, and we're going to smash them like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, says Mustafa. We need width and pace, says Lamar, and Cavani to start, says All Here. I think there's absolutely no chance of Cavani starting, by the way. I really don't think that would happen. I don't think he's anywhere near match fit, if I'm honest, and therefore I would agree with him not starting. Whatever anybody else says, it just doesn't feel like that would be the right decision to do that. So, no, I wouldn't agree with that one, if I'm absolutely honest with you. It's fake team news, don't listen. I mean, look, it was fake last week, but, you know, we are a fan channel. We are fans, and, you know, we're all about talking things through. That is what we do, isn't it? So I think that with regards to that team, if it is the team from Newcastle last week, do I think that team is good enough to beat Chelsea? Well, of course I do. Of course I do. But do I think that's our best team? No. I think surely... if you want to win things, you've got to get as many of your best players on the pitch. And that's what I'm saying. It would be odd to me to have Pogba, Van der Beek, Greenwood, Telles all on the bench when they're fit to play different players in a system. And I suppose that's the thing, isn't it? It would be a system over players. And to me, that would be a little bit weird. But there you go. Telles deserves to start, says Steve Evans. I suppose the problem with Telles is that in a back four, is he defensively good enough? And considering we don't know what Chelsea's team is, we have to wait and see. What's your score prediction, Mark, says Sam Hardwick? I can't remember what I said in the preview. I don't know whether I said 2-0 or 2-1, but one of those I'm going with the Manchester United win. And Mark, just accept that Cavani is red and our number 7. I never said that I hadn't. And I just don't think he's fit enough to start. And all this leaked lineups are bringing back Mourinho days. Clearly need to sort things up, says Rashid. Well, I hope, Rashid, actually. You make a good point. Why is the team leaking out hours before the game? That means there's a leak in the dressing room. And this has been going on for a very long time. So we do need to do something about that. And I would question why we've not been able to do something about it. But the confirmed team is not out yet, John David. It'll be out in about 13 minutes' time. That's the team I would play. That's the team I would play. The leaked team is no Pogba and no Telles, but Shaw and James come in. So that's the leaked team. That's my team, and we will put the official team up for you at 4:30, which is when the official team will come out. A lot of people, a few people are mentioning Cavani in the comments. What I would say about Cavani is that I wouldn't expect him to play because I don't think he's match fit. That I can't see how, when his first training session was only at the start of the week and he's played no football for 6 months, why would you start him in such an important game? I don't think he can be match fit. If Ollie thinks he is and he starts him, great, but I don't think Cavani would start. Off subject, but did AFTV ever donate that 500 quid to charity, says Chris Chisholm? I don't know, mate. I don't know, because it wasn't being donated to us, so I don't know whether they did or they didn't, but they never made a big thing about it, so, you know. What did you think Ollie's plans is with Palestri, says Leo Lyons? Well, Palestri played last night for the under-23s, so I think he'll be a slow grower, if I'm absolutely honest on that one. But look, you might have missed it today. Manchester City drawing with West Ham. Manchester City have now dropped. Listen back. Man City have already dropped this season 7 points. They lost to Leicester, which was 3. They drew with Leeds, which was 2. And they've drawn with West Ham today. They've dropped 7 points already. I said it at the start of the season and I'll keep saying it. Man City are not consistent. They're on the way down. That team is aging. It's still a good team, and I'd still be worried about facing it, but it's not the team it was 2 years ago. Liverpool are a bit broken as well. There is an opportunity there for a team to have some consistency. And you know what? If we'd said it at the end of last season, who are the two teams in the best position to attack Liverpool and Man City, everyone would have said, well, it's the teams in 3rd and 4th. It's Manchester United and Chelsea. And after the summer transfer window that Chelsea's had, you would expect it to still be Chelsea. Is it Manchester United, though? Today is a huge day. It's a huge day. It's actually a huge day for Chelsea as well. Because if Chelsea were to win today, with the squad depth they've got and the belief that they would get from winning that game, you could be looking at a Chelsea. You could be looking potentially at Chelsea getting into a title race. So it's open. It's wide open. And Manchester United, at this moment in time, and look, in 3 hours' time, we might be feeling a little bit different. But at this moment in time, yeah, we had a bad start to the season. But if we can win tonight, effectively, Arsenal United next week could be a bloody title decider. Not a decider, that's the wrong word. But you know what I mean? Everybody's in the race at the moment. I mean, Liverpool are still my favourite to win it, but everybody's in a race at the moment. And we've got a real opportunity to get into it. Would you say Twan Sebi deserves a regular first-team spot, Mark, says Seb? Yes, I think that Twan Sebi does deserve a start, Seb, but I don't know. I just felt Maguire was going to come straight back into this team with the captain's armband. I mean, look, let's just discuss this for a minute because we've got a little bit of time. What is your thoughts on Harry Maguire? Because I I'm not going to get mad about Harry Maguire being in the team. I don't agree with it. I don't think Harry Maguire should walk straight back into that team. I don't think, if I'm coaching a side, I'm going to say, look, that PSG result was our best result we've had in recent years. So why would I want to just let Harry Maguire walk back into it? I can tell you why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lets him walk back in, because it's his captain and it's his most expensive signing. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is heavily invested into Harry Maguire. You know, he seems to be the player that plays above anybody else. You know, there's always this statement that as a manager, they've got one or two players that are instantly on that team sheet. And I think for Ole, it's probably two or three. And Harry Maguire is one of those two or three. Bruno's another one. And I would say probably Rashford is a player he doesn't like to not pick. So, yeah, Harry Maguire is one of Ole's first picks on the team. If he's fit, he plays. And I'm not going to get angry about that because it's obvious. You can't change how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer thinks, and it's very obvious that that's the way he thinks. So would I do it? No. Would I have him as captain's armband? No. But Harry Maguire needs to repay that faith, because he did it last week. He scored, and today it could be good. But I mean, this is really harsh what I'm going to say, but if Harry Maguire's playing, Tuanzebe should play next to him. Maguire and Lindelof don't work. And I thought Lindelof played well against PSG, but they don't work as a pairing. We know that they can work in some games, but consistently they don't work. So if Maguire starts for me today, then Tuanzebe starts, and I'm happy. But Maguire and Lindelof, it's not even about Maguire. I just don't like the partnership. So, and I think Harry Maguire would benefit from the pace of Tuanzebe next to him, and I think you'd get a better Harry Maguire. So I don't know what's going to happen, but it sounds like it will be Maguire and Lindelof. Can't wait for the game, mate. 2-0 United, I'm saying, says Joseph Tyrrell. I'm so excited about this game. I'm so excited about this game, but there is an air of trepidation, Bridge, here, because the referee is Martin Atkinson. As we saw against Spurs, that game was ruined by a red card. It was over. So I'm nervous. I think we will win. Am I confident? No. I think the game is too narrow between us to be confident about winning. And also, you just don't know whether a decision is going to go against you or with you. So we will see. Please share the video if you're watching, by the way, and get involved in the chat. Lots to discuss. Team news is going to be coming in very, very, very soon. Excited to see what that is. The leak is that it will be the same team that started against Newcastle, which would put Pogba, Van der Beek, Tuanzebe and Greenwood, and obviously Matic and Telles all on the bench. Or maybe not even on the bench. So, you know, we say that, but they may not even be on the bench. So we'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to go. And obviously, we will update you as soon as we've got the team news coming in, which should be very, very soon. Uh, 7 minutes away. I wanted to just check something here. Yeah, we're 300 subscribers away from 884,000, so please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner, let's see if we can get 884 before kickoff. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, and please share the video. Man United is going to win, says Festus. And Mark, is that the lineup, says Saj. This is my lineup. The predicted, the leaked lineup is the one that for Newcastle, but the real lineup will be out in 6 minutes' time. We'll have that for you. Thanks for those who are putting the super chats in as well. You can do that by clicking the $ and putting in your super chats for a shout out or a readout. Nathan, thanks for your super chat. He says, I'm feeling nervous, Mark. I need KG on to fill us with optimism. Obviously, KG and Flex will be on after the match with their show. Looking forward to that, and hopefully they will be talking about another Manchester United victory. And Chelsea says, did Chelsea even have a fan channel? I mean, you know, I say that in a polite way. Like, you're a big club, you should have a fan channel. Like, I know, like Louis and people like that did it, but I don't know whether they actually take it seriously anymore. I'm confident for this game because I believe Ollie's United is a confidence-driven team. It's either 10 wins in a row or 10 losses, says Charlie Spellman. I think that's a good point from Chelsea. Charlie, I've got Chelsea on the mind because we're playing Chelsea. I think that is a good point from Charlie because we are a team that plays in spells of good and bad. It would be really weird for United to Well, look, there's a few things that would be weird about the game today, but it would be really weird for us to lose today because we're not really a team that goes win, win, lose, lose, win, win, lose, lose. Under Ollie, it's like lose, lose, draw, lose, lose, you know, or it's win, 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 draw, win, win, win. So I'm hoping we're going to go on a run of wins because we need to get that consistency going. The other thing to bear in mind is, when was the last time United lost their first 3 games of the season at Old Trafford, you know, in a row? We lost to Palace, we lost to Spurs. This is our 3rd home game of the season. Could we really lose? I can't. And look, I'm sure somebody in the live comments will be able to tell us that, but I can't remember ever losing 3 home games in a row. Somebody's going to tell me it happened a couple of years ago now, but I don't remember it. Is Bruno the best possible captain for this game in your opinion, Mark? Says Seb. To me, I would have Bruno as captain. I don't think it really matters if he's the captain or not, because I think he's the captain and the leader on the pitch anyway. Mark, the only player Ollie has sentiment and can't drop is De Gea. Sentiment, you could argue, is unprofessional and only gets you so far in sport, says Andrew C. No, I disagree, Andrew. I think he would drop De Gea. I think the whole point of Henderson is that De Gea would be dropped if he made some of the clangers that he did last season. I think that would happen. So I don't think De Gea is like a sentimental pick. And De Gea is performing fantastically well at the moment. I think Maguire is just Ollie's obsession, you know, and every player's got one. We're playing somebody today who Chelsea fans would admit, you know, Mason Mount is Lampard's obsession, and you could argue that today he could actually play Ziyech, Havertz, Pulisic and Werner as his front 4, but probably Mason Mount will start. We'll see how that goes. And it happened in 1930 according to All Ace and Adamino. And that's officially coming in there. Dan James surely can't start, says James McDermott. Well, I've refused to put him in that team yet, but if I have to put it in that team, I will do. But I have refused to do it yet. But apparently the team is going to be the team against Newcastle. My Chelsea mate wants Slabhead, he said, says Rob Davis. Martial is suspended, of course, Mika. If anybody doesn't understand that, where have you been? And the Unknown says De Gea, Maguire, Twansebi, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Telles, Pogba, Fernandes, McTominay, James and Rashford starts. Well, I tell you what, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'm not over the moon with a back 5, to be honest with you, but I'll take that. But then there's another one. De Gea, Anwar and Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Scott, Fred, Bruno, Mata, James, Rashford. So there's two confirmed teams there, which is, we'll see how it goes. Oh, I've got a message in here. I'm not reading that out, because if that's not the team, we'll get absolutely pelters. I'm not reading that out. No way. Back 5 apparently, but I don't know. I believe the other team news, to be honest. So yeah, for those people joining in, just very, very quickly before we get the team news in, I must just say we're sponsored by Boohoo Man again today for the watch along. I'm wearing some of their clobber, as you can see. Very, very good. The Boohoo Man range. Link in the video description. We have got 40% exclusively for you that you can take off by using the United Stand code on checkout. On top of that, an £800 voucher to spend in the Boohoo Man range exclusively for United Standers. All you've got to do is click the link in the video description, and to enter the draw, which will be picked out at random, just click the link in the video description, enter your details, submit. A winner will be picked at random on Monday lunchtime, and we will announce the winner on Monday night. So get involved in that. Link in the video description. Thank you to Boohoo Man. That took up 60 seconds. Thank you, Boohoo Man. And we are getting very close to the title. We're nowhere near the title, but I would say this: Man City drew today, which is a bit like a loss when you play West Ham. Drawing to West Ham is like a loss, really. You'd expect them to be winning that game. So look, this Premier League is wide open. It's wide open. And we've got an opportunity, but this game is very, very hard. It's very, very hard, and some would say it's super hard, but I would say it's very hard. Some people are saying that Cavani is starting. Oh, look, if he's fit and Ollie thinks he's fit, then I'm more than happy for Cavani to start. But if he's not fit, then I wouldn't start him. Does that make sense, everybody? I think it does. If Cavani's fit, I'm happy for him to start. But if he's not fit, he shouldn't be starting. And he's not starting. It is the team from last week. Absolutely the team from last week. Oh, God. Cavani's on the bench. Greenwood's on the bench. Van der Beek's on the bench. Pogba's on the bench. Matic on the bench. Twansebi on the bench. No Telles at all. Telles out of the squad completely. So is that already an issue with injury? I do not know. But there is no Telles out completely. I mean, that is a surprise. I'm just trying to find out whether he's got an injury or something like that, because there's somebody I can message and get it quite quickly. But that is a surprise. So I'll change it on the screen, of course, but you can take it to the bank and you can smoke it. If they let you smoke in that bank, Manchester United's starting lineup is the same lineup as the team that played against Newcastle last week. It is De Gea in goal. Let me change this on the screen for you. So De Gea's in goal, obviously, but no place for unlucky. I would say unlucky Axel Twansebi to be not starting. And no place for Alex Telles as well, who, again, I would say is a tad unlucky not to be starting. But Harry Maguire does start. Let me just sort this out for you. Victor Lindelof is there. Harry Maguire is there. And Telles, you're not playing. Luke Shaw is. Luke Shaw, come on down. And, yeah, Paul Pogba, you're not playing either, are you? No Pogba on the bench. Dan James. I mean, Ricky's going to be very happy, I think, to a certain... Well, no Matic as well, but that is your team. That is your team. Let me just go here and come back. Hello! Hello! I'm on a black screen with nothing else, because this is my FIFA screen. That's why. Back to here. There you go. So that's your team. Marcus Rashford up front. Bruno Fernandes behind him. Mata and Dan James. McTominay and Fred. Luke Shaw. Harry Maguire. Lindelof. Wan-Bissaka and De Gea. I don't like that team. I'm going to be honest. I do not like that team. But what I'm going to say is, Ollie's got the right to pick whatever team he wants because he's won the last 2 games. But if he gets this wrong, he will get pelters, because I don't know why Twansebi's not starting. There's 3 things for me. I don't know why Twansebi's not starting. He was our best centre-back and he's the only quick centre-back we've got. So that's 1. 2, I don't know how Harry Maguire walks back into that team. I do not know how he walks back into that team when we've just played superbly well against PSG. And 3, I think at some point when you're playing one of the best teams in the league, you've got to play your best players. We've got Greenwood, Twansebi, Pogba and Van der Beek on the bench, and Dan James is starting. Like, we're playing a system here. We're not playing a team. And I hope this system's going to work. I think, you know, in many ways it's quite exciting, because if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets this right, he is managing the team superbly well, and definitely the players have played for him. But this is an opportunity for Chelsea, which we're going to talk about their teams. Do you think Ole is benching Pogba for the comments he made about Madrid, says Paulie? I'm disappointed, mate. This is why Ole gets a lot of stick. Why is Maguire playing? No Telles as well, and Dan James again. FFS says Brajish. I mean, look, there's going to be a lot of people melting down. I'm not gonna deny that. There will be a lot of people obviously not very happy with that team. I get it, but I'm not even surprised by Maguire coming back into the team. And look, you know, Ollie's taking a risk. He's taken a risk there today, because that team isn't the team that most United... I mean, I think if we did a game of Family Fortunes where our survey said, has anybody picked that team? I don't think any of you would pick that team. Of course, some of you would. There's 25,000 of you. The percentage of some of you would pick that team. Of course you would. But the vast majority are not going to pick that team. So the vast majority of you are going to be a little bit concerned, frustrated, pissed off. I get that. But ultimately, I always think it's dangerous to go too hard on the manager for a team selection when we don't know what's going to happen. But what I would say is, if we're 2 or 3-0 down at half time, that's on Ollie. I would not have picked that team. Many of you wouldn't have picked that team. A lot of our better players are not there. What's the story on Tellez? If anyone knows, let us know. The Chelsea team is Mendy in goal, which makes them stronger, unfortunately. Reece James, Azpilicueta, Thiago Silva, Zuma and Chilwell. So they're playing a back five. Jorginho and Kante, Pulisic, Werner and Havertz. So they are actually not playing Mason Mount. He's on the bench. Kovacic is on the bench. Ziyech is on the bench. Tammy Abraham, Giroud, Rudiger and Caballero. So it's Havertz, Werner and Pulisic as a front three. Quick, pace, that worries me. Kante and Jorginho holding the midfield with a back five. So Chilwell and Reece James are going to get forward a lot. It's interesting contrast of team selections there. Chelsea going with the back five. United going with the back four. It is an interesting one. But if anyone knows anything about Tellez, let us know. A few super chats coming in. Mate, this could go tragically, says Jams. How does Twansebi not start at all? We're probably going to get bantered. How on earth is Maguire starting? And there's a lot of people asking that, Jams. I agree Axel should have started, but Ollie did mention in pre-match conference that he needs to be handled carefully in the next few weeks as realistic 27. I agree. I think the warning was there. Maybe Ollie wary of starting Twansebi 10 months out to come in and play Tuesday, Saturday. Maybe a risk. Maguire versus Werner is a nightmare, says Balu Singh. And Chelsea are playing five at the back, says Ewan Black. And hi Mark, I love the show. Can you sing happy birthday to my mate Ishmam? Also, could you call him an Arsenal Pratt? I'll call him an Arsenal Pratt, Mohammed. I'm not singing happy birthday to an Arsenal fan. You blew it. You blew it. You had a chance. I was even thinking about getting the tune in my head, and then you said he's an Arsenal fan. I ain't singing happy birthday to an Arsenal fan. Fervent Nut says, hey Mark, the Pratt from Prattville here. I definitely see what Ollie's trying to do and I respect it. I just don't understand how Twansebi starts today. Well, look, I'm not overly fussed about Luke Shaw playing at left back. I would have played Tellez, but Luke Shaw will do as a job. Wan-Bissaka's playing really well. Lindelof looks a little bit better. Maguire, look, he's got to repay the faith. Bruno looks good, but I do worry about the five around Bruno. Rashford, he's mixed. He's a mixed bag, Rashford. Like he is. He's not on fire. He's a mixed bag. Mata played brilliantly against Newcastle. Hopefully he can do that again. I just worry if Dan James, Mata and McTominay don't play well, that's three players. And we're playing against Werner, Pulisic, Kante, Jorginho and Havertz. Like their front five is way better than ours and on paper. But we'll see. My nightmare is coming true. Timo Werner's going to get past Maguire with ease, says Gabe. And trust in Ollie. Trust in Ollie was that last super chat there. We will win this great team, says Sam Bradley. Nice to see a bit of positivity. And also, yeah, look, it is what it is. That is the team. That's what we've put out. All I will say is I wouldn't have picked that team. The team I would have picked would not have had Harry Maguire in it. And I would not have picked Dan James. I would have played Pogba on that left-hand side, or Greenwood. But Ollie's got the right to pick that team. The last two results have been very good. And if we win this game, he's done a fantastic job again, hasn't he? My only question would be to you, is if we did win today, and I hope we do, how long is he going to keep picking this team? Because the thing about this team as well is, and I think this is the most important thing I would say to anybody who is moaning or is happy, is that team ever going to win you a title? So how long are you picking this team? What's the evolution of this team? We're playing Chelsea today. What's the evolution of that team? Like, when Martial's back, where does Martial play? When Cavani's fit, where does Cavani play? How does Pogba get in that team? When's Matic coming back into that team? Where does Van der Beek get into that team? So I think he's picked a team to do a job today. But I don't see what that team is long term. I don't see that team has a future. Because that team can never win the league. So that is weird. But he's obviously playing it game to game. I'm backing Maguire to have a stormer and get another goal. Calling it now, says Samir. I hope so, Samir. I really hope so. Playing Dan James on the left probably nullifies Reece James' attacking output. says Yashil. And the way Twansebi and Wan-Bissaka pocketed Mbappe, I'm expecting that against Werner. Maguire is going to get ripped apart by him, says Zachary. And Werner on the counter versus Maguire and Lindo is scary, says Kuchi. And Man United are going to get battered. We'll see. Prit says there's no way this is a long-term team. Cavani is on the bench. So if you want to know what the bench is, I can confirm the bench to you. I know Cavani's on it and I know Twansebi's on it. There is no Telles on it. It is Henderson, Twansebi, Matic, Pogba, Van der Beek, Cavani and Greenwood. So, I mean, basically, he's had to drop a defender to get the players on the... I mean, to be honest, Ollie might have dropped a clanger here because defensively, there's only Twansebi on that bench. So if we were to get an injury or anything like that, there is only Twansebi who can play in that team. He's not bothered to put Brandon Williams on there. We don't know where Telles is. He's gone top heavy with midfielders and attackers, which are obviously Matic, Pogba, Van der Beek, Cavani and Greenwood. So it's interesting. It is an interesting team. Let's hope that it works out. And look, I just saw somebody on Twitter there saying so-called Reds moaning about the team, back the manager. Well, you know what? There is no such thing as a top red, and there's no such thing as so-called Reds. What there is Man United fans who have an opinion, and I'm never going to knock anybody for having an opinion. What I would say is, and you can take this or leave it, would I have picked that team? No. Is Ollie the manager? Yes. Do I back the manager? Yes. If it goes wrong at the full time, I think it's open season, isn't it? He's picked the wrong team. If he wins, he deserves the credit, and that's what I would say. Which is why I've not gone overly angry about it, because this team did beat Newcastle last week. Can they respond? And one thing I would say is that these players have been responding to Ollie recently. Feels to me like Ollie's setting up the team to have super subs to put on during the second half. Remember, he was a super sub himself back in the day, says Ivan Drago. Look, if we're 1-1 or 0-0 with half an hour to go, I think we're in a very strong position, but it's what we can do in the first half with that team. I think Ollie's rotating between two squads for the next couple of fixtures with Prem and Champions League thoughts, says Nathan Misiki. I think you might be right. And I can't understand why Maguire is playing over Twansebi, says Brendan Kazar. Well, the interesting thing with that is that some people are saying, well, Twansebi can't play 2 games. But then Maguire has a dodgy hamstring. Like, you don't, I'm sorry. I'll tell you this now as somebody who's a little bit older than most of you. You don't have a sore hamstring and miss a game and then it's magic within 2 or 3 days. Maguire is playing with a knock, 100%. He's come back too soon, and yet we can't play Twansebi. So another softy approach by Ollie chooses Maguire on sentiment, not performance. No Excel, includes Dan James. Handover already to Chelsea, says Nathan. Ollie's making the best players hungry. Just imagine if they are. Check out Dennis Sicario. If Man United buy him, he would have a bigger impact than Bruno, says Adrian Thomas. Is it possible to have a bigger impact than Bruno Fernandes? I don't know. And Edward Walters says, I'm really disappointed about Telles, and why is James playing? The guy's terrible in my opinion. No intelligence, just Sonic the Hedgehog with concussion. You know, sometimes lines just grab you. I don't, you know me, people watch me. There's not much that shocks me and makes me laugh out loud. Well done, Edward Walters. He's Sonic the Hedgehog with concussion. But he's still going for a 2-1 win. Fair play, lad. And does Maguire have the captaincy back, says Java Dog. Yeah, 100%. We knew that was going to happen. Where is Telles? Does anybody know where Telles is? To be fair, a lot of people said he wasn't part of the squad last night. So I'd love to know what people are thinking about that and Telles. So let me know what you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're like me. You don't know. So let's find out about that one and we can discuss that. But yeah, the teams are out. Chelsea are playing a back 5. Manchester United are playing with a back 4. Which to me, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't have picked that team. I've got to admit I wouldn't have picked that team. But what I would have done is not played a back 5. So I'm happy with that one. I've got to be honest about that. Flexio, can you hear me? I don't think they can hear you because I just need to turn your audio up. Right, okay. What's your thoughts on the team, mate?
Yeah, a lot of it I'm not surprised at. I do feel it's a little bit unlucky for Twansebi not to start, but thinking about it with a broader mind, hasn't played for 10 months. That game was only a few days ago. Would it be a bit of a big ask? Probably. But I don't know. Sometimes you just think, but maybe should he just try it because he was that good, and the pace that they're going to have Chelsea and the speed that they're going to play with, that could have helped. But Harry Maguire is the captain. You just know he's going to come back in. He's going to play every game that he's fit. So we shouldn't really be surprised. Look, the midfield 3 with Matic, McTominay, Fred, McTominay and Bruno, I don't think we can really argue. The balance has been good. The balance was good against PSG.
Yeah, but you know what I would say is, and Avish says I can sympathise with Ollie out as he makes us the underdog in every big game, which I think is probably a little bit fair. And my feeling is Ollie's targeting the second half with subs, says Stephen K. And Dan James subbed at half-time, Rashford moved to left wing and Greenwood on, says John Barber Fitness. I think the only thing I would say is I understand Mata. I don't agree with Maguire, but I knew it was going to happen, so I'm not angry about it. I knew he would do that. It's his captain and it's his biggest signing, so. But I don't understand the Dan James thing, because in my opinion, I thought Dan James was crap against Newcastle.
Dan James is the one that, I know we had different opinions when we played that game against Newcastle. And I did say, yeah, maybe Van der Beek should start and Maguire potentially shouldn't
Is he not just Sonic the Hedgehog with concussion like that previous coming?
With this, now, you could see what happened when Donny van der Beek came on the pitch. Bruno went to the left, Van der Beek was in the 10, or vice versa. I think there was enough in that performance to maybe say, okay, Dan, you sit this one out. We'll go with a Van der Beek or a Bruno on the left or whatever. So for me, yeah, that is another thing where I'll be like, do you know what? I can see why he should start. He should start unless he has a masterclass and does brilliantly. I think that change is already waiting to happen. But I don't want to be too disrespectful with Dan James because, we want him to do well. I want him to turn it around. I want him to be effective. But I'm only going off of what I've seen. Do you know what I'm saying? What we've all seen. So I understand that. I mean, look, the bench is strong. Rashford was always going to play up front. There's no Martial. I don't think he was never going to start Cavani just out like that. And Mata, I don't have a problem with. So to be fair, a lot of it, the Tellez thing, he must be injured to just not be in it.
Well, apparently, Junior said he smashed Maguire's wife, and then somebody else said that he's turned his ankle. So I think we'll go with the ankle one, because I think Junior's being a bit of a troublemaker there. Yeah,
exactly. So, look, and even Luke Shaw playing at left-back, I probably would have went with Luke Shaw anyway. I mean,
defensively,
well. Exactly. Like, we all want the romantic kind of thing of, we've got a new player, play him, and then he can play 90 minutes and do Chelsea and it'd be amazing. But it doesn't work like that. Players need to feel their way into a side, especially when Luke Shaw's not the biggest problem. Like, he's perfectly capable and he played really well against PSG. So I don't have any qualms with that. Wan-Bissaka's going from strength to strength at the moment. Hopefully he controls that. So really, with that team, with what I expect, with Solskjaer not going with the 5, it's pretty much as I expect, apart from the Dan James and Van der Beek, because Greenwood has obviously been out of favour and isn't in form. He hasn't played for a couple of games. One matter was superb against Newcastle. Rashford is confident just after PSG. He's got to play up front. You don't drop him. The only thing he could have done is maybe have kept Rashford on the left and gone with a Cavani up front, but I just don't think he would. I think he'll do that later on in the game. He's not ready, exactly. He might only have 15 minutes in him, and he might not even get off the bench, depending on how the game goes if it's tight. So I just think that actually the fact that Ollie has gone with a 4, because I remember a lot of people saying, I don't really want to see us go with a back 5 against Chelsea. When are we going to start playing the 4 and go for them,
Yeah.
But now Chelsea have actually stayed with the 5. It's going to be really interesting. This is almost like a bit of a unknown territory because, if Solskjaer does do well in this game and we get the result, which I hope to God that we do, it's like, well, it's on Solskjaer. He's got it tactically right. Do you know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see how our 4 goes against their 5, because we all a lot of people wanted us to see us play a 4. I wouldn't have minded us going with a 5, only because it's been tried and tested against Chelsea. But to be fair, we did that in the semi-final, and we were all saying, Ollie's so naive not to change the shape. He's gone with the 5 again, and Lampard matched it. And then we didn't have a good game, as well as he changed the personnel. So Ollie is trying things, and he is doing things a bit different. So you've got to give him props for that.
Well, yeah, I've got to give him props for that, because one thing he's definitely doing is, as we were, to be honest, we spoke about this at lunchtime. We knew, like a lot of people, we knew about this league team at lunchtime. We were talking, weren't we? And we said, look, if he puts that team out, we've got a bit of warning. Neither of us were going to go mad. Not because we didn't, as a channel, we think that's the right way to be, but because it was just sort of like, well, we did beat Newcastle, we did beat PSG. He is the manager. He's got the right to pick the team. But what we both did say is that if we did lose, it's open season, because it's not the team the vast majority of people would pick, and it's very easy if he loses this game to say, well, mate, you got it wrong. Forget what you did against PSG. Forget what you did against Newcastle. You've left Pogba out, Van der Beek out, Twansebi out, Greenwood out, and you've played Dan James and Harry Maguire. So he's brave. He's brave. He's making the big decisions, and I obviously I hope he's right. He trains the players, so I hope he gets it right. But if he doesn't, I think that's the time where people have a right to say, look, mate, you really got that wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. But but do you know what though? What we have to put into a bit of perspective here as fans, like that's the same with really any result, any team selection, any substitution, anything, any decision that the manager makes, the buck falls at him. When you win, which some people don't have the ability to do, you got to praise the manager. When you make a substitute, which some people don't have the ability to do, it's nothing to do with Ollie when he's made the sub and brought that player on to have an impact. The same way, if these don't work, then it will be on him. So I think it's got to be measured because, yeah, you do lose games because of a manager's decisions sometimes, or the tactic. You got outdone by the other team tactically. You found it difficult. You couldn't adapt during the game. But also, we also know how we lose games, which is individual errors. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So if Rashford has loads of chances but couldn't stick it away, and then they get a penalty and then they score, like that's not necessarily Ollie's fault. It all depends on the manner of the performance. And I think if you have a calm head about things and you look at things overall, if we perform well in that system with those players and you lose, you can lose anytime. You can have the best team out there.
Well, look, to be honest,
we've had the A team and we've lost loads of games.
I was going to say, how many times has Pogba been inconsistent?
Exactly.
How many times has Twansebi actually played for United? Not many. And the same with Van der Beek. So Ollie's probably what did Ollie say last week? I went with players that basically I can trust. Exactly.
So you can't really knock him for that. And to a certain extent, as long as you don't get battered and there's clear evidence that you've been awful and didn't have a shot on target, or you couldn't break them down and you were just defending for your lives. As long as it's not like that, whether you win or lose or draw, if you have a good performance, fans can go. We've never even the old Man United in the 90s when we were amazing, and in the 2000s, even if we lost games, we didn't go, oh, it's because it's crap, Sir Alex doesn't know. You lose games. You can lose games with your best team out. So I don't want to get into that of, if you lose, it's all his fault, he's crap. It depends on the performance for me. If the performance is bad and there was no cohesion and he didn't turn up and it was just tactically wrong, it didn't work against Chelsea's 5 and we couldn't change from that, then you got to look at the manager. But if it's an open game, we're getting chances and you're going, we did enough to win that game, it's just because we weren't clinical in the final third or something like that, then that's a different story for me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, look, obviously we've got lots of stuff that happens after the show, fan cams, match reaction, player ratings, the Flex KG show. There's going to be, if we lose this game, if Tellez is injured, says Daniel Priest, this still comes back to the terrible transfer window and lack of signings. Yeah, we must never forget that, Daniel. I think Ollie will sub Maguire if he doesn't get himself in the game quick today, rather than wait for him to cause a disaster, says Sinners. I don't think he would ever sub Maguire, to be honest with you. Mark, I think he's going pure work ethic and defensive duties with Dan James. Do you agree? Pogba on the left doesn't track nor hit on the counter, says Nathan. Look, I mean, the thing for me, Flex, as well, is Man City drawing. And this Premier League season, it's certainly the most open it's been for a few years now. You just want United to be in that conversation, and I think if we didn't win today, if Chelsea win today, I think they've got a bloody good chance of going on a run and actually getting themselves into a title race. So it's so important that we don't let that happen today. And I don't even want to draw. I want to win this game. I want to win this game and start building with what we've got. And I suppose that is the nervous thing, isn't it? It's just, can we do that? I mean, we only looked good against Newcastle when the subs came on, and that's when the goals came. And I don't understand why Dan James is playing, says Hamza. It probably is a little bit of. Chelsea playing a back five is quite interesting as well, but that will probably be Reece James and Chilwell getting forward a lot. So a back five can become quite an attacking team if you play that way. And I must admit, United's team does look quite defensive when I look at. Mata, Dan James, McTominay, Fred and Rashford. I mean, look, I like Rashford, but I don't think he's, I do worry about that team creating chances.
Yeah. Look, Newcastle's different opposition. So we created 25 chances in that before we even made the subs. We had loads of shots. We was playing, I'm not going to say free-flowing football, but we were carving them open. This is a different proposition. Even if you play your... even if you play your best team, there might not be many chances in it because it could be quite cagey. So I get that. You look at Rashford, Mata, and James, and then you look at Werner, Pulisic, and Havertz. It's non-comparable. But I just think if with the way we've been playing, we've played our best team in certain games, right? We haven't seen the results. And Ollie's been justified in picking that midfield. It has had balance in the last couple of games. It's picking up confidence. And if they do it again and control the game, then or have a say in the game, then you can't really say fairer than that. I think Mata again, I think I'm going to stick my neck out on the line. I think he's going to prove, yeah, I'm going to say it. I'm going to own it. I think he's going to prove why actually the disrespect on his name's been quite bad in terms of, oh, his legs are gone, he can't run, he's slow, he shouldn't be playing like in the big games. I think he proves today.
I think that's an interesting point about Matty.
Just why he should.
I can't lie. I think he's done. I think he's done at this level. I think Mata he's got the footballing brain and touch of Zidane, but he's got the pace of a dead snail buried in concrete. I just don't think he's quick enough anymore. But we're going to find out. We're not going to have to wait long to find out. I'm just only highlighting that because I'm before the live comments get in, I have said that for the last 18 months. That I remember Mata playing against Leicester at the start of the season before last, and Chilwell destroyed him. So, look, I don't think Mata's quick. I think Mata works in a team where you've got a lot of possession high up the pitch. Does Mata work in a team where you've got to run backwards and defend? I don't think he does. But look, we'll see.
Yeah, we he played on a side that had St. Maximum and Jamal Lewis on it. I know that. I know it's not. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about context here. Like Pulisic and who's on their left hand side? Pulisic and Chilwell, let's say, right? And St. Maximum and Jamal Lewis. Speed wise, I'm talking about pace and Mata being able to run and stuff. Like it's not really that different. Like it's not even about how fast you are. It's about how quick of understanding you have of the game to be in the right position.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yes, of course, if Mata gets caught in a one-on-one foot race to the ball over Ben Chilwell's going to beat him in a straight race. But the way Mata reads the game, I'm saying that he's probably back in position, not needing to rely on that. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and then what I'm also saying is on the ball, I think he's clever enough. Like Jamal Lewis is very quick. Mata didn't once go past Jamal Lewis because he can't. He didn't once skill out St. Maximum because he can't. But what he did do was play really intelligently, come in off that right-hand side and make things happen. So I still believe in him that he can do that against the better teams. And I'm going to stick my neck on the line and say that I think he'll have a really good game. Of course, I could be wrong. The truth is no one knows, but that's just
I want you to be right, mate.
Yeah.
I ain't one of those bros who's there going, I want to be right. And we know there's people out there. There are people out there. They just want to be right, and they'd rather Mata played shit and Ollie got it wrong, just so they can go, I told you. I mean, all I'm saying is I have said that I think Mata's done when it comes to the better sides, and I hope I'm wrong because that means United will win. Rox says, could it be Dan James as a left wing back? Could be to throw Lampard off 3-4-2-1. Love the show, says Rox. I do think that Dan James is going to do a lot of tracking back. And Johnny Bam says, Chelsea are not Newcastle. We up against Kante, Havertz and Werner today. Not bloody John Joe Shelby. World-class players on the bench. Disgrace. And Mata could actually be key in this game with his football intelligence, says Martin Wannington. I mean, I'm just going to literally a minute. I just need a toilet break here. And I think this is why Freddie's playing. He's tenacious and have pace to help compensate for Mata's speed, says Simon.
100%.
I mean, I'm just going to leave you with that previous comment, and I'll be back in a moment, Flex. But I just wanted to say this. In relation to that comment, this was one of the three things, and I'll talk about the other two things when I come back, but one of the three things I said about this is it just feels weird to me that we're playing Chelsea, and on the bench you've got Van der Beek, Pogba, Matic, Twansebi and Greenwood. With the best will in the world, we can't get those 5 players on, even if this goes wrong. He can only make 3 subs, and it does just feel to me that there's no longevity in this team. He's picking a team that's basically about hard work. The talented players are not actually in the team. Would you disagree with that? And I'll be back in a moment.
I don't, and I look. But the problem is that you can't think too short term. Too long term all the time. The games come thick and fast, and you have to pick a team almost based on that specific game. And if he didn't, the team that we played against Newcastle, is not the glitzy glamour A team that we all want to see, and it's not the team that we think has the best chance of getting us, as high up the table. Of course not. But look how it performed. So you can't just pick the team. You can't just not pick the team of the players that you think are going to do the best job just because you go, but I won't be able to play that in 10 games time. It's the right team for now. You know what I mean? You're looking at that team and I'm thinking, okay, cool. A lot of people are going to have reservations about how to penetrate Chelsea, how you're gonna break through them, how you're gonna put them under pressure. But if the players apply themselves and the more clever players like your Brunos, like your One Matters, like Rashford, if they link up well, then they can cause Chelsea problems. They can. So for me, I don't really buy into this thing of just because this team doesn't have some serious longevity, that you shouldn't pick it. Do you know what I'm saying? You've got to pick your best team for the specific game. Managers will tell you that you pick the best team that goes and wins the game. So for me, it's not fashionable to like One Matter. Yes, it's kind of not fashionable to rate Dan James. I see that more than the One Matter situation because I think One Matter's still very good. But you can't just think long term all the time, guys. It's very difficult. We all want to get back to the top, but you can't just go because this team doesn't look that good on paper. That means it's definitely not the best team for this game, as we saw against Newcastle, and potentially, even though we kind of expected that against PSG, maybe against PSG as well. People say McTominay shouldn't have really been there. Well, he done well. Do you know what I'm saying? He done really well. It was a risk seeing Tuanzebe after 10 months. It paid off. So at the end of the day, you can't just live in this short-termism. I'm not really for that.
So what?
You didn't hear any of that, did you?
No, I just wonder what you meant by you can't live in this short-termism. Yeah, give it to me in a sentence.
Basically, where you were saying what's the longevity in this team,
yeah,
I'm saying you've got to pick the best team for this game. You can't just not pick the team because you think in 10 games, I probably won't be able to play that. I get it. You can say that that team probably won't win as a title, and that's a longer, bigger debate. But on that knowledge, he should never have picked them players against Newcastle, and we would have been crap.
Yeah, I think.
You know
Well,
what
I think the thing is, and I do sympathise with the United fans here. Is let me just read this super chats. This team struggled against Newcastle for 75 minutes. Chelsea is not as forgiving as Newcastle, says Charlie Spellman. Could it be a sort of 4-2-2-2 with Bruno and Mata being more central, with James and Rashford being the runners, says Java Dog. And the reason Bruno has been so good is not because he's such a good player; it's because of his desire to win. The rest are afraid to play poorly, says Martin Spellman. And I think the thing for me is that, and I do sympathise with some United fans here, is I don't look at that United side and think it can finish even in the top four. That if we played that team every week, that's one of the worst United lineups we've had in the last 7 years. It's not a great team. There has to be an evolution of this team, I think, is the point. I think it can get a result today, and it did against Newcastle, but nobody can tell me that team's winning a title. It's not. The centre-back pairing is not good enough. McTominay and Fred, look, they're doing well at the moment, but there's still question marks about those. And Mata and James, and even Rashford as a striker, I don't think he's very good. That's his best position. So that team can win today, but I think what I was trying to say is that and I do sympathise with people, is if we do win today, it doesn't really tell us anything about the rest of the season, because I still don't. That team to me can't be the team. At some point he's got to bring the Van der Beeks, the Pogbas, the Greenwoods, and obviously Martial's into this team. So, and how do you do that in that? I mean, look, we're overthinking it. It's a bigger conversation. It is. You're right. It's a conversation for another day, because in half an hour we're kicking off with that team, and let's hope it wins. But yeah, I do sympathise with people who were saying that. Look, I don't get it. I don't get what he's doing with that team. But I hope it's going to win. And if he wins, he deserves all the plaudits again, because I'll keep saying it to everybody. It's a very brave team that Ollie's put out there, because most of you wouldn't do it. So if he will know that, and he will tell those players, you've got to go and deliver, because if we don't deliver, we're going to get pelters. He's going to get pelters.
He will, exactly. And
it'll be Ollie the Wally and Ollie the PE teacher again.
Yeah, those things come back whenever he loses. Do you know what I mean? And especially with how he has been, and some of the decisions he's made, and some of the shocking results that we've had, like a certain level of criticism has been justified. But I think he still has to play a team for now. Where you're saying about eventually he'll have to play Van der Beek and Pogba and stuff like that, 100%, I get that and I understand that. But you bring those guys in after you give us a platform to become confident again. You slowly integrate those players back into the side when the side's functioning. Do you know what I'm saying? So like he's doing even in the games, you know, Pogba came on at a very good period against PSG and came on and played quite well. So the same against Newcastle. You have small building blocks. When something doesn't go right, and it's got messed up for whatever reason, you can't just take it for granted and act like nothing's gone on. You have to keep working at it, and you have to rebuild. So for me, I can see what he's trying to do.
Please subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. Bottom right hand corner, we're very close to 884,000. In fact, we're only 100 away. So bottom right hand corner, subscribe, get involved with the channel. United Stand, we're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10 a.m. After the match, we've got the match reaction with me, and then after that we've got the hour with Flex and KG and guests going through everything. We've got fan cams, Ricky and Beth are doing one tonight as well. So lots to get involved with, of course, call-ins, etc. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and get involved with the United Stand. Wherever you are, you're all part of the family, all over the world. Big up all the Man United fans, but I'm confused about this lineup, says Kyle. It seems to me like Ollie is winging it game by game depending on training. I don't know whether that's fair, to be fair. Van der Beek should have played instead of Mata, says Join. Offers the fluidity and playmaking, but faster and has more of an engine. Maybe a fair point there. Mark, last night I rewatched the video you made when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was made caretaker manager. It was great, and you should rewatch it as well, says Guy from the 80s. You've got me intrigued now. I'm going to write that down. Caretaker video. I wrote it. We won't play this team every week. This shows our depth. We can alternate between Prem and Champions League. There is no team now. We are playing with the squad, says Ash G. Mark, I agree, but Bruno picked Mata as his favourite player to play within the team. Game recognises game. I bet you Mata will start in a Man City team, says Shaq. And Maguire just said that he'd slept in a hotel rather than going from home and trained in the morning right away. Mentally, preparation change, says Kirill. Sorry, I just did a shrug of the shoulders there. So bloody what? He's a professional footballer. Do you think Ollie can afford another massive loss like 6-1 because he's picked a team for that? Says Ankit. Look. To be honest, I think there's been times in the past where I would have been very frustrated by this team, but I think the last couple of results, there is a buzz. The players are playing for the manager, and they definitely need to play for the manager because he's shown faith in some players today. I mean, I wouldn't pick Harry Maguire. I cannot be more honest than that. But I said the same last week and he scored and we won. I wouldn't pick Dan James and we won. I wouldn't have probably picked... Well, I probably would have picked McTominay and Fred. The two changes I would have made would have been Twan Sebi in for Maguire, and I would have probably played Pogba instead of James. So I only would have made two changes, to be fair. Cavani's not fit, Telles isn't fit, and I probably wouldn't have started Van der Beek because I think Mata does deserve to start. So if Ollie wins this game, it will be down to his tactics, showing there's more than 5 aside at training, shows if we had a better depth what Ollie could do, says TJ Hogan. And Fred has been absolutely brilliant over the last 6 months. Every game he's played in, United fans still say I don't think he's good enough to be a United player, while saying McTominay is one for the future. I don't understand, says Bradley Lemons. Look, I put Fred in a combined 11 last night when we were talking about it. So I like Fred. I rate Fred. I think McTominay still has a lot to prove, but he played well the other night. Which way do you think it's going to go? Everyone in the live comments then. Get your score predictions in. And Flex, have you changed your mind on yours? What are you going for?
No, I did go over a 3-1 Man United win.
Yeah, I don't think we've got 3 in us. We're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to defend well.
Yeah, but I don't believe that. That's just throwing it out there for optimism. I think it's gonna be really tight, really cagey. I think there'll be a goal in it. I'm gonna go over 2-1 United win. We have to defend well in either shape, but especially this one. So yeah, for me, I'm gonna go over tight, cagey 2-1 win.
I went 2-1 to United as well. Crazy team, Donny, Pogba, etc. on the bench. James, Mata, Maguire starts. He's either arrogant or cocky or both. 3-1 for Chelsea with this team, says Robert O'Malley. I do think that I was speaking about this last night, and look, we're so used to this COVID world now where there's no fans in the ground. I do think that a lack of fans at Old Trafford makes it an easier game for the opposition. There is literally no advantage now. And
yeah.
I always used to fancy us at Old Trafford against anybody. But we've lost our first 2 games. If we lose today, it's our first time we've lost the first 3 league games at Old Trafford since 1930. But it can happen because we've already lost 2. So to say, we won't lose today, of course we could lose today. So it is difficult without the fans. It's not an excuse, but I do think it lowers my confidence levels because I just think with 75,000 fans, I'd fancy us to... I think Chelsea are mentally weak at the moment because they're not formed as a team. You know, defensively they've been a bit concerning, and obviously they've got a lot of new players, but we're not going to be able to insert that pressure that a crowd would put on them, which is a bit of a shame.
It's definitely a massive loss, not just us, just all fans. I think you're starting to see it with the results that are happening, with the high-scoring games, with the comebacks. It's definitely, for me, down to fans, because they have such a big... Even when we say Old Trafford, the atmosphere isn't that great half the time, and it's not as loud as it should be. It's still there. There's still a presence. And you talk about the momentum shift of when you score. You know, when you score at Old Trafford, the other team feels that. Do you know what I mean? Or any team, the home team feels it. If you go one up, it's difficult for the other team to settle down again. You get the roar of the crowd that spurs you on to go and push for a second. It happens, and all of that's not there. It's null and void now. That's not there. So even going 1-0 up, the other team can gather their thoughts. They can hear each other. They can communicate with each other. They can shout, and people can be heard. The manager can get his point across and change things more easily because he can be heard. It's a massive thing. So yeah, 100%. We can lose today. Of course we can. And you know, to answer your question, it's making a huge difference, the fact that there's no fans.
It is. Right. No one cares about Ajax. I don't know why people are talking about Ajax. They're winning 12-0. Okay. Well, it's the Ajax League, isn't it? Isn't that what it's called? Ole Gunnar Mourinho with this lineup and bench, says Matt, and 0% club flex with that formation. I'm sorry, says Magic Eye. A lot of people are worried. I get it, but you know, I've seen it so many times. I remember actually being at Old Trafford, playing against Chelsea. I'm trying to think how long ago it would be. Maybe 2.5 years ago, we played Chelsea. It was about March time, and he put a team out. I couldn't believe it, and we won 2-0. It was the game where Herrera just man-marked Hazard, and I think Chelsea won that league that year. So I think Mourinho was probably in charge of Chelsea, which meant that probably Van Gaal was in charge of United. I don't remember, but we beat them 2-0, and the team news came out, and everyone was like, "We've got no chance." So it's not always the individuals; it's the team. In fact, a lot of the time it is that. And Katie says, hoping for a good game from him, but worried we have a bit of a coach's son syndrome with Maguire that can also rock the game with team mentality. Would you have started Maguire flex actually?
No, I would have went with Tuanzebe and Lindelof if he was going to do a 4. But I said the same thing against Newcastle.
Yeah.
And he went on to have a good game. So I don't think any answer is definitely the right one. It depends on the outcome at the end, which you can look back on in hindsight and say it was right or wrong. But nah, I wouldn't have, to answer your question. I've just with how Tuanzebe played, I probably would have played him. But I get it. He's been out for 10 months. To play another 90 minutes in a high intensity game, we're not in training. We're not in training, and I just think it's a little bit unrealistic to want that as much as we do as fans because of how well he played. To expect him to replicate it so soon, it shows how much we rate him. But he's still a human being, so he might struggle. He might struggle to do that. But I would have chanced it because we're a fan. I'm a fan. We just want to see the best players. We just want to see what it is, but I would have played him, yeah.
Well, the expectation is that Tuanzebe will probably play against Leipzig and then be rested for the Arsenal game, and I just think you've got it the wrong way round. I'd rather Tuanzebe was playing against Aubameyang and the pace of Arsenal next week and the pace of Chelsea today, and play Maguire and Lindelof against Leipzig. I mean, look, the reality is for me, Maguire and Lindelof don't work. They've cost us so many goals over the last year since Maguire's been here. They don't work as a partnership. They don't have recovery pace. So to me, tonight, if Maguire was playing, Lindelof should have been dropped, which is unfair. But I would not have not. Tuanzebe. It was Tuanzebe and one other. That was all. That for me, that performance against PSG was one of the best centre back performances we've seen in a long time, and he needed to start today. But look, Ollie loves Maguire. It's his biggest ever signing at 80 million quid. It's his captain. He's shown loads of faith in him. If you look at what's happened to Greenwood off the field, he's missed out on games. You look at what happened to Maguire off the field, keep the captaincy and start games, Harry. So he gets treated differently. And, you know, I said this before you came on, Flex. You know, people can disagree with that, but all managers have favourites. And Maguire is one of those players, rightly or wrongly, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that when he picks a team, he's one of the first names on his team sheet. So if as soon as Harry Maguire was declared fit on Friday, I knew he would be playing today because Ollie's been very consistent about that.
100%. He's never going to not play him. We know this. Unless it goes horribly wrong for a very long time, he's going to keep playing him. You know,
he's had the opportunities to drop him already, and he hasn't, has he?
Exactly, and he hasn't done it. So realistically, I think it's more for us for thinking it's actually going to happen. I think we just got to get our heads around that. As much as it can seem frustrating in certain periods, what we do want to see though is him play himself into form and be unbelievable. Like I think sometimes we can lose track of that. It's kind of like you can say it for a couple of games, but once it's been done and he has to play and he's the captain, you want your captain to be influential, be rock solid. I want him to be at it. I want him to keep Werner under wraps because he's very tricky, he's very quick. I want him and Lindelof to have a great partnership and sort him out. So I think what I'm saying is that I'm just willing to move past it at some stage because Ollie's not going to change his mind. So there's no point kind of
you got
expecting it.
He's the manager, isn't he? You've got to take it.
He's the manager and that's his favourite, so it's not going to happen.
Ajax are winning 13-0, says Joel Morris. I'm extremely worried about Maguire. If Maguire had to play, Lindelof should have been dropped, says Tellez. I actually agree, yeah. Mark Goldbridge for manager. Love your show, Mark. Says Pranav, we need a manager like you who has the passion and mindset to keep the club above the players. Hey, Ollie's doing a good job at the moment. Let's just hope it continues. And the Watcher says maybe Twansebi isn't playing because he's just come back from a big injury. 2 starts in big games could aggravate his injury. Can't rush the lad back. I think that is the logical answer. But having said that, there is a level of hypocrisy to that because I'm telling you now, Harry Maguire's got a sore hamstring. There's no way it's better. You don't miss a game because of a dodgy hamstring and then come back 3 days later. So Maguire will be playing with a knock again. So if you can risk Maguire, why can't you risk Twansebi? Hi Mark, what's the FPL code? Says Kanishka. I don't know, mate. Don't have it with me, to be honest. Already called it. Watchers get terrorised down the right-hand side until we make changes, says Joe Dawson. And, thanks everyone who's putting in those super chats. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, or if you haven't subscribed, we're getting very close to 834,000. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Did you see the disgraceful and disrespectful video from Geordie and Lawrence about Man United versus PSG? Much love from Switzerland. NBA 2K. I did actually see it, and basically I watched it. I watched it on the toilet last night, and it's a shame I couldn't take that video and flush it down with the shit I'd just done because they really. I'll be having words with them next time because they really just basically were mocking the fact that it was a tactical masterclass, and what they were saying is that basically, you went to PSG and played deep and hit them on the break. That's a real tactical masterclass, which is very, very easy in in defence of them to say if you didn't watch the game. But we had out of the top 7 players distance covered, we had 6, and we had the top 3 for distance covered. If we parked the bus and hit them on the break, we wouldn't have ran further than they did. That's just not how it works because you sit deep. All right, you sprint to go on the break, but it's very short bursts. You can tell by distance covered who's had the most progressive game. And the reality is, from the 65th minute when Pogba came on, we dominated the ball and pushed PSG back. And also, even in the first 65 minutes, we did sit deep when they had the ball, but we had a lot of possession around their penalty box as well. So I just think that's just those people who think that make me laugh because we didn't play argument. Yeah, they didn't watch the game.
Lazy argument. No, and that was one of the biggest things that we had about that game. That if we were going to play that system, you couldn't just sit there and wait to be attacked. Do you know what I mean? You had to go after them. You had to counter at the right times.
Yeah.
And you had to keep possession at the right times and pin them back. And we managed to do a mixture of all of those things. So people saying that it was just sitting in tight and basically doing nothing, they just probably didn't watch the game.
And look, the comparison of that team to this team, I think the team that we put out, I mean, this is an interesting one for your flex and everybody. I think that the team we put out on Tuesday night would batter the team that we've put out today.
Yeah, on paper. Yeah.
And on performance. I mean, that was a flawless performance. They played really, really well. So it is interesting.
But 3 of the players in that are playing now is in Bruno, McTominay and Fred. Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? So you've got elements of that team. And Rashford, who, although he played badly in terms of he was frustrating, he actually played well because he kept getting into positions and making runs and being effective. Do you know what I mean? So you've got some of that in there. You've got David De Gea, who's playing well at the moment. You've got Wan-Bissaka, who's going from strength to strength. You've got Luke Shaw. So although that team would beat it on performance and paper, it's only a few different changes. It's the same players.
Yeah. I know most prefer Rashford at the left side, but thoughts when Martial used to play on the left, he went at players. Rashford tried to outplace players. Case Kyle. Because if Maguire goes out, we can be okay, but Axel goes out, then we are screwed, says Chachanya. Mark, I'll see you in 90 minutes while everyone is screaming Ollie out in the comments, says Magikai. And controversial opinion, Lindelof is a better centre-back than Maguire. Lindelof plays consistently better without Maguire. The same cannot be said with Maguire without Lindelof, says Simon. Well, I think, Simon, I don't think it's controversial. I think many a time this conversation has happened in the live comments that the only difference between Maguire and Lindelof is Maguire is slightly better in the air and cost 80 million quid. I don't think there's a huge gap in ability between those two players, Flex.
No, there isn't. Not even between Chris Smalling, which is what the debate was about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, you'd probably say, yeah, I'd still keep them over Chris Smalling, but in terms of, is the gap that big, as big as it should be for basically moving on from Chris Smalling and investing into the stages that we have, it's not that big. So there isn't. I've said it quite a few times in terms of when Lindelof's always been made the scapegoat, it's always Lindelof's too weak, he's too slow. The only thing he has is kind of passing on the ball, and we need to find the right person for Maguire. I think Lindelof does get labelled with that quite a lot. We just know that the partnership doesn't work, no matter whose fault it is. Sometimes it's Harry Maguire's fault, sometimes it's Lindelof's fault. They just don't complement each other. I don't think one more than the other.
Do you think Cavani will come on during the game, says Ricardo? I think if he doesn't have to bring Cavani on, he won't, but it doesn't, it depends how the game's going. Fitness is still going to be a problem with Cavani. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka form really contributed to us conceding a lot of goals lately, but him being back to his normal would help us tighten up with or without Maguire, says Sarab. Yeah, look, Maguire's very important tonight. Luke Shaw's very important tonight. David De Gea's playing really well at the moment, but he can't save everything. We've got to defend well as a back five, and if McTominay and Bruno play well, then that will be a big help as well. Sorry, not McTominay. McTominay and Fred. That would be a big help as well. But we're both going 2-1. A lot of people in the comments thinking we're going to win. The only other thing I would say, Flex, and maybe we haven't discussed this, is you can't, VAR has an impact on every game. Referees can have, red cards can have an impact. That Spurs game at 2-1, if Martial doesn't get sent off, does it end up 6-1? Probably not. But if we lose a player for a red card or something like that, then whatever prediction we have about lineups and everything, it will be very difficult. So it's really important that we keep that discipline, and it's really important that we start well, because we've got great subs to make, but the risk of not starting with your better players and going with a team, which he's gone with today, is if that game's over at half time, it doesn't matter how good your players off the bench are. If we're 2-0 down at half time, it doesn't matter how many players he brings on, we're going to struggle. Yeah,
you got to give a foundation to play off, and you can't just throw those players under the bus by saying go and get on and rescue it. You want to bring those players in to give that little extra something to get over the line, or see it out, or really ramp the pressure up because we're already 1-0 up or something. So I get that, but we've got to be disciplined for sure. That's what I mean. We could spend all stream talking about what we've just spoken about the tactics, about this, about that, about substitutes. But if somebody makes individual errors or has a lack of composure and messes up or gets themselves sent off or gets an early yellow card, so then they can't tackle properly, or they're not being as aggressive as they can, which, to be fair, Scott McTominay dealt with very well against PSG, it can change everything. So for me, I just want to see us, I want to see how we are in the first 15-20 minutes, because Chelsea have set up with the 5, and we don't often play. Basically, if we're against the 5, we're normally in the 5. We don't often have it the other way around, so especially against Chelsea. So I'm really interested to see how that goes.
I've got a cheeky feeling that Cavani's going to get a hat-trick, says Mr. Cole. If Cavani gets a hat-trick, I will give you a tenner. And James is great for letting the other teams seem adequate by comparison, says Gershon Weonga. A serious question, would Dan James even be in the squad for any other team trying to be top 4? He's horrible, says Brad Lewis. And no Alex Telles after a wonderful debut in Paris. Also, please call John Sayar a prat. Look, Dan James didn't even get in the squad before transfer deadline day, which to me, and look, United were trying to loan him out. So it shows you how quick football can change when you've got to go with what you've got. I think if Dan James wasn't fast, he wouldn't be even be in the squad. I think he's in the squad for pace. Controversial opinion. Yeah, we've read that one by Simon. Yeah, I mean, look. Somebody called him Sonic the Hedgehog without a football brain. I don't know whether Sonic Hedgehog has got a football brain, but that is very harsh. But it's he is in the team for pace. Don't tell me that he's a better footballer than Pogba or Van der Beek. He's in that team because of his pace.
100%. I look with Dan James. It's about his strengths. His strength is his pace, and his limitations are his understanding of the game, playing in pockets and linking up in triangles with players. I think he's just a very ABC player. I want to either do a 1-2 and put it into the space for me to run onto, or I'm just going to run into that space and kind of put me in on goal running at the defenders. What I will say in his defence, though, because I look, it's easy to give one side of the story, which is 100% understandable with some of the discrepancies we've seen in his game, but where he has been effective and where we have seen the best of Dan James is with space to run into, running at people and giving them a difficult time. Azpilicueta is not the quickest. If Dan James runs at him in grass, he will cause him trouble. Which could be a huge thing for us. The problem is that once that's taken away from him, or we're not playing in that way, he becomes null and void, and that's when you need a little bit more invention, i.e. a Mata or a Rashford out there potentially, or what we want to see, Don Van de Beek.
Welcome to the Members Club, Chris Beattie. Thanks for joining. You can do that by clicking the join button. You get the badge next to your name. Thanks for joining there, Chris. Exciting match. We have to win, otherwise afraid a lot will unravel for us, says Renate. I agree with you, Renate. I think we've all said this. PSG results great, Newcastle results great because of the start of the season we had, you lose to Chelsea today and you're back to square one. Could you play Lingard instead of James, says Edvin? I don't know what the story is with Lingard. I think he must be injured.
Yes.
And AK says, some questionable transfers over the years. I feel that some aren't the manager's choice. Van der Beek could be a Woodward signing, not a manager's one. Look, Flex, we're 4 minutes away from kickoff, so I will let you go and settle in. But you'll be back on at half time. You've gone 2-1. The players are coming out on the pitch. Any other famous last words?
I know it gets a bit weird when Sky do the close-ups and stuff, but it just reminds you, Werner is sharp. He's very, very sharp, and Lindelof and Maguire need to be fully concentrated, because he can, in the blink of an eye, with a bit of movement, just be in. Just stay concentrated and tempo. Start with tempo and purpose, and give ourselves a good platform to build off, because the confidence at Old Trafford has been awful. So let's see if we can get that first win of the season at Old Trafford.
Cool. All right, mate. I'll speak to you at half time.
Cool. Nice one.
Cheers, pal. You can follow Twex. I always get that wrong. You can follow Flex on Twitter at FlexUTD. But it's me and you, and it's you and me up until half time talking about the match, which is great. As I said, we're only 10 subscribers away from 884. So please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, and get involved in the channel. Bottom right hand corner to do that. Do you think Dan James will play as a wing back, says Raghavandra? We'll find out in a few minutes, pal. And hey, Mark, excited for... I do think he will end up doing a lot of tracking back with Reece James, though. Hi, Mark, excited for the match. Do you think Dean Henderson will ever get a start in the Premier League for United? Yeah, he will. I mean, you can guarantee every goalkeeper makes a mistake at the moment. That's what... Sorry, let me get that out of here. Every goalkeeper makes a mistake. When De Gea makes a mistake, and he will make a mistake, will Ollie drop him from the team? Because he'll make a mistake. I think every goalkeeper should be allowed to make a mistake, and it's what they've done in previous games. And if De Gea made a mistake today, he probably would get dropped for the next game for Henderson. But, that's the beast that Ollie has unleashed by keeping Henderson at the club. 3-1 to Chelsea today. I could have seen a more competitive game with Martial. I think Chelsea will cause problems today for United, says Racehorse Red. Just want to shout out before kickoff as well, thanks to Boohoo Man for sponsoring the watch along today. I'm wearing some of their Boohoo Man clobber. As you can see, you can get yours through the link in the video description. They've got a 40% discount exclusively for United Stand viewers. All you got to do is fill up your cart with what you want and use United Stand code as your checkout. Code United Stand, that is. No, don't put code in there, and it will knock 40% off for you. As well as an exclusive for the watch along, they're giving away an £800 voucher to one of you. All you got to do, click the link in the video description, enter through the entry form, and then a winner will be picked at random on Monday lunchtime and announced on the 8 o'clock show. I think we've had 2 or 3 winners already from that. You could be the one. £800 voucher with Christmas to come. That could be useful. Links in the video description for that. Free to enter. Winner picked at random on Monday lunchtime, and then we'll announce it on the 8 o'clock show. So links in the video description. Thanks to Boohoo Man. He takes a breath. He takes a breath because we're very close to kick-off. And look, I've been excited about this. I don't normally get nervous, but I am nervous about this because as big as this game is, I also think, as I've been saying, I've not been saying this for any other reason that I think it's true. This game to me is massive. If you win this game, if you're Chelsea or you're Manchester United, if you win this game, I think you can come out of it, look at the rest of the league and go, you know what, we could get into a title race this season. If you lose it, I think you'll come out of it and you go, we could have a really bad season this year. So one game doesn't obviously make that true, but I do think that it's a symbolic game. And obviously as United fans, we want it to be symbolic for United. But look, still people are saying, what the fuck is this team? The game is kicked off, and let's see what this team can do. It's going to be interesting. Will the lack of pace at the centre-backs or the lack of synergy between the centre-backs, will that be an issue? Can United identify any weaknesses in this Chelsea side and push them up high up the pitch? Will it be a ball draw? We'll see. We'll find out. With this lineup, Sanders will be tight before kick-off and totally pissed drunk by half-time, says Chris Grathwell. And come on, Ollie, what team is this? I don't hate any of the players, but this isn't a positive choice. Axel not in the team. No Van der Beek or Pogba. James is lost as gentleman's lab. Well, there's a ball over the top here, and remember it's raining. It's going to be wet, so there will be probably a few mistakes. It looks like Tellez is injured. Yeah, a few people are asking that, like Daniel G. And any other watch-alongs this weekend? Maybe Arsenal-Leicester tomorrow is the watch. I'm doing Everton-Southampton tomorrow afternoon, and I'm doing Burnley-Spurs on Monday. But that's on That's Football. This is United. This is the United stand. Subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and get involved. And Matt has just gone and played a ball to Dan James, who sprints away from the ball because he just puts his head down and runs. That's the problem with Dan James for you. He's a very dangerous player, but the football brain doesn't look at the ball enough. Let's just put it out for a fucking throw-in as well. He's such an infuriating player. Like, Matt has got the ball. He sprints away from it. He gets the ball there. He kicks out for a bloody throw-in. Just relax, mate. Sonic the Hedgehog with concussion. That's what someone said in the comments before the game. Switch on. Switch on. Right. Good tackle by McTominay. Oh, come on. It's a crap pass, that is, Scott. Switch on. Can't stop. You can't play against teams like this, giving the ball away because you can't bloody pass. Why he's putting a bloody 40-yard power pass on a 10-yard pass is beyond me. Can't give up cheap possession in the first 5 minutes. Because now Chelsea are knocking it around, getting used to the ball. Yeah, and Chelsea are playing a back five, but you can already see that that back five isn't a back five. It's a back three. Reece James and Chilwell are very high up the pitch. Greenwood's on the bench. The bench has got Henderson, Twansebi, Pogba, Van der Beek, Matic, Greenwood and Cavani on it. Come on. Got a lovely touch by Mata. It's going to be a nervy game, this one. It's PSG all over again, isn't it? You were not going to be able to take your eyes off it, really. There's Twansebi sat on the bench. Martial's not injured, Dylan. He's suspended for being sent off against Spurs. United just having a bit of possession here across the back four into Luke Shaw. Nice ball into Dan James. What do you got on the left-hand side? Tackled. That's what you got. That's what you got. The thing I like about Dan James, though, is the way he plays for United. It's literally like he's won a competition. He just, you know, like when he scored that equaliser when he first signed on, and Martial and Rashford had a go at him because it was like, what are you celebrating for? We should be going for the winner. He's just happy to be there and he's full of enthusiasm. I'd love it to work for him. Here's Chelsea on the break, left-hand side. Pulisic into the box. Good tackle, Wan-Bissaka. Well done, Fred. Nice ball. Go on. On your toes now, Dan. On your toes. This is what you're good at. No. No. Very naive there, trying to push it through Reece James and Azpilicueta. He's not had a very good start, Dan James, but he can only get better. Chilwell. Maguire's across well there. That's a decent ball, but Zuma will win it. Maguire will let it go for a goal kick. Chucking it down with rain. It really is. Let's have a look at some of your comments. How does Tellez get injured, says Rebel Master. I don't know whether he picked it up against PSG. Apparently, somebody said he'd rolled his ankle. I don't know whether that's true. Ollie didn't want to expose Maguire versus PSG. Harry will hide behind Lindelof so he don't get the blame. Too much protection for average players, says Paolo. Thanks for the super chat, mate. You can do that through the $ if you want to be read out. And any ball to Dan James is a dead ball, says Nicholas Maxwell. And it's raining so much. It's been absolutely chucking it down in the UK today, Gustav. Like, at one point here, I live in the Midlands, about 2 hours drive from Manchester. And at about 3:30 this afternoon, it was unbelievable wet. You know, literally, you could have gone out there with your Radox and had a bloody good shower. It would have been cold, but it was teeming it down. Teeming it down, which means raining heavily. Thrown to United on the left-hand side, into Rashford. I mean, look, I don't know whether it's a psychological thing for me. I don't know how you feel, but I just feel that this team isn't good enough compared to the players that Chelsea have got. And that's because, obviously, psychologically, they have got better players in their 11 than we have. But it's a team game, isn't it? It's a team game. Oh, dangerous ball by McTominay, that, into Fred. McTominay's passing's been a little bit loose. Well won by Fred, second ball. Goes wide to Bruno. Chelsea got a lot of players back. Mata does well. Gets it back again. Just got on here, if you don't mind. What was your reaction to the lineup, says Daniel Luciano. I wasn't, because it had been leaked about 6 hours before it came out, Daniel. I'd had time to not react badly to it. It's not the team I would have picked, but I'm not surprised Ollie's gone with it. I think it's a shame Twansebi's not playing, and I wouldn't have played Dan James. But apart from that, I can't really argue with the rest of it. McTominay and Fred I would have picked. Obviously Bruno I'm going to pick. Tellez is injured, so you'd go Luke Shaw. I would pick De Gea, I would pick Wan-Bissaka. I just would have had Twansebi with Lindelof or Maguire, and I would have played Pogba instead of Dan James. So only 2 changes for me, but... Oh, McTominay, you're passing shit at the moment, mate. And again! Fucking hell, that's 4 passes in a row McTominay's misplaced. Get your bloody groove on. Bloody hell. Have you seen Rashford's speech about children, says Carl Austin? No. Welcome to the Members Club, Phil Boyle. Thanks for joining, pal. Oh, Lampard looks like I don't know what he looks like. A Pratt. A Pratt, will do. But it is raining heavy. I think to be fair, the rain is going to have an impact on the passing. But McTominay's... Here we go. He's made a run for you there, Luke. That was a good run by Dan James. Luke Shaw didn't see it. I think McTominay's passing is so unimaginative. Like, when Fred gives him the ball there and he gives it straight back, there's space to turn into. Well done, Luke Shaw. Of course, what I have said a few times this week is that a draw is probably... Oh, God, goal kick. A draw is probably the clever prediction, isn't it, really? It helps everybody out. I can't see Jan James working. Would love to see Van der Beek on. A triangle of technical and passing with Van der Beek, Bruno and Mata is dangerous. Yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily think pace is going to be that important. And it's not like Van der Beek is slow. I mean, if Dan James can't use his pace, then he's definitely not got any footballing ability, has he? Well, he has, but you know what I mean. And my dog died, says Ace Riano, and enjoying the video. Rest in peace, dog. And get your detective boots and magnifying glass back out and find out who's leaking the lineups. Also, Scott passes like the defaults on a pro clubs, says the watcher. Edward Walters, is Greenwood benched and there has not been any issues with him? Then why are we not playing Rashford left wing and Greenwood centre forward? Leave Sonic on the bench, says Edward Walters. And what you think the score's going to be, says Keegan Williams. I went United to win 2-1. At the moment, both teams are sort of cancelling each other out here. But it's very early days. We've only had 10 minutes. And look, you know, as much as we might have concerns about United's lineup, let's not pretend Chelsea are firing on all cylinders, because they're definitely not. They were 3-0 down against West Brom a few weeks ago. They gave up a lead against Southampton and conceded 3 last weekend. Well done, Bruno. Go on, Scott. Move it quick. That's better. Better, better, better. Out to wide to Wan-Bissaka. Nice switch of the play there. Bruno's got it. Oh, go on, Luke. Oh, good recovery tackle by Aspilicueta. Nice. Okay. All right, Marks is frozen. I'm good. How are you? I'm sorry to hear about your dog, says FaZe Greg Paul 24. He was a member of the club. Remember, if you want to become a member, you can do that by clicking the members button, or the join button, actually. Get a badge next to your name. Thanks for your support on the channel. Go on, pressure him, Dan. Oh, weak. Weak. Too weak. Reece James is just bullying him at the moment. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. Bottom right hand corner, Cavani. We haven't got Cavani on the show later, but remember the United stand, we're pretty much live for a long time after the game now. We'll have the match ratings. We'll have my match reaction straight after kick-off of the final whistle. In the second half, we'll open up the page on the website where you can all vote for player ratings. We had like 20,000 voting last weekend, so very accurate aggregated player ratings. And then after my match reaction show, we've got an hour with Flex and KG and guests in the live comments talking about the match, of course, and the fan cams. Lots to get involved. You were reading the super chats and missed Fred telling off Dan James, says Mark Whitten. Sorry, well, thanks for letting me know, Mark, because I would be telling him off as well. He looks a little bit lost at the moment. It's always a gamble. United need a new medical staff. Everyone's hurt, says Real New Money. And Andrew C. Mark predicts when the mandatory penalty will come in this game for us. We are Penchester United and we love it. They always are penalties, to be fair, aren't they? They are always penalties. It's a foul by Bruno. So 15 minutes gone. I mean, look, what I would say is, and we spoke about this before the game. Let me just have a stretch. That's not what I was going to say, but I'm going to have a stretch. What I would say is, if this game is 0-0 with half an hour to go, and you can bring on Paul Pogba, Mason Greenwood, Donny van der Beek, then you've got a very, very good chance of going on to win the game. The other thing I would say is, though, Chelsea have got Ziyech on their bench. I think we've got the best. Kovacic is a good player, but I don't think they've got... I mean, they've got Tammy Abraham, they've got Giroud. They've got good players, but I think we've got a better bench. So if we can stay in the game I think Ollie has got it wrong way round. Twansebi versus Arsenal and Chelsea to match the pace of their attacks and not saving him for Leipzig, says Aqua. I said that, mate, and I agree with you on that one. And welcome to the Members Club Show of S. Thanks for joining in. So what do you think about the game start so far? I think it's been 50-50. I don't think Chelsea fans would be unhappy. They look comfortable, and I don't think United fans would be too unhappy either. Nobody's really created anything. In fact, they haven't. But 15 minutes has gone quite quickly. It's been a bit of a game of chess, really. Both teams sort of feeling each other out in a legal way. Kante, nice little slip through. Good interception by Harry Maguire there. Fred, look at Fred there. He's getting swamped. Does well to go back to De Gea. De Gea, nice ball out the back to Wan-Bissaka there. Not just booting it. See, look at the Chelsea press there. Yeah, well done. We get the throw in. Chelsea hunting in packs there. 4 of them around the ball. Around the edge of our box. Sometimes you have to hit that long. But good interception by Maguire there, Julio. I agree. And look, I must just say this about Maguire. I knew Ollie would pick him, and I knew he would be captain. I'm not a Harry Maguire hater. I'm not a hater Maguire. But what I am is, I would have picked Twansebi and Lindelof today. But what I did say is, that if you're going to pick Maguire, as unfair as it is, drop Lindelof. For me, it was Twansebi and one other that had to play. So somebody's down injured here. It's Rashford. He's all right. Is McTominay missing both contact lenses tonight, says Usman. Yeah, his passing's been really off. Oh, he's got one on the back of the head there. Yeah, that's interesting. United's last 4 games at Old Trafford, we've taken 2 points from 12. Drawn 2, lost 2. Not good enough, is it? Lampard looks like a burglar. Can you say that now? All here? I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what you can say these days. Chelsea are targeting press on McSauce and Fred, says Mr. Glenn Johnson. Well, remember what Troy Deeney said. Chelsea are near the edge of the box of United here. Luke Shaw puts it out for a corner. So this is a first opportunity. Chelsea have got height. And this is where Maguire becomes an important player on corners. Let's make sure we win it. Attack it and win it. Corner to Chelsea. Get ahead on it. Get ahead on this corner. United. Yep. Well out. Keep going. God. Werner's got it on the far left-hand side. That's it. Push out. Chelsea on the halfway line now. Well in, McTominay. We could have bossed this game in the first 30 minutes, says RA. And thanks, Mason Greenwood. Well, a lot of space for Aspilicueta on the right-hand side here. Reece James up against Luke Shaw. See how deep Dan James is there. Well out Harry Maguire. Come on, let's get these second balls. Chelsea starting to get control of the possession at the moment, and United not is the answer. Second ball, Mata, move! Bloody hell! This is where I worry about Mata, his lack of pace when we're defending. I think Mata's a good player when you're high up the pitch, but when you're down defensive, is he quick enough? And now it's Chelsea. Havertz out wide to Reece James, cross, well out Maguire. Come on, United. Chelsea just starting to look a bit dangerous here. The way Chelsea are pressing, Pogba would have been great to find that one long pass and start a counter, says Tejas. Here's Chilwell, and it's another corner. Chelsea just starting to get in control at the moment. Can't win a game without the ball. So, I mean, my thoughts. First 20 minutes, I thought we started off okay without really doing anything. But I feel in the last few minutes, we're just defending. We're just existing. We're not actually living. We're not getting involved in the game in an attacking sense. It's just it feels, you know what it feels like to me, and I said this when the team news came out. It's almost like Pogba, Van der Beek, Greenwood, Matic and Twansebi are injured, yet they're sat on our bench. This is a United team that it just feels like we're trying to get a result, but we've got better players on the bench. And I've got to be honest, Mata's lack of pace defensively worries me. McTominay's passing has been poor, and Dan James looks lost. So, is it any surprise that Chelsea are starting to get control of the ball when they've got better players? I mean, Wyatt says he's worried. I wouldn't say I'm worried. I just think at the moment, this team was sort of 50-50 against Newcastle for 75 minutes. Chelsea have got better players than Newcastle. Is it going to be any surprise if Chelsea start to take control of the game, which is what they're doing at the moment? We need to get our foot on the ball, because Chelsea's game plan is to not let us pass the ball out and to high pressers. And at the moment, we're just not getting involved. And Bruno needs to be a little bit careful there. Come on, how can we pick this team? We have too much power on the bench. It's all coaching. This is crazy, says Leo Man United. Well, I just hope we can hit him on the break and get a goal. Or we can keep it like this until half-time. That's a hospital pass by Dan James into Fred. Really put him into trouble. 20 minutes and not one opportunity for us to release Rash. Very worrying if we can't attack, says Duncan and Tammy Hawkins. Yeah, we're not hurting them on the break. Freddie's growing well into the team. Great channel with love from Ukraine. We are united, says Taras. Thank you very much, mate. Get a bit cold here. Come on, Ollie. Get me warm. I don't want a hug. I just want some good football. 21 minutes has gone very quickly, though, hasn't it? DDG is laughing at hospital pass. Anybody who's played football must know what a hospital pass is. A hospital pass is basically a pass that you get rid of their ball, but you give it to somebody who's in real shit, basically. That's a hospital pass. It's not the person who gets the ball's fault when they lose it. It's because of the pass they've had. Hi, Mark. Are you happy with the formation? Says Callum Canning. I've got no problem with the formation. It's probably the personnel. Oh, heavy touch by Maguire there. Well done, Lindelof. It's just defence against attack at the moment. Oh, you got to be stronger than that, Dan. There's only one James on the pitch at the moment, and his first name's Reese. We're just not in this game at the moment. It's just defence against attack. It's great to have a strong bench. People are forgetting last season, says Mark Whitten. And Mata and James are meant for these kind of games. James is in James's pocket, and Mata is too slow for these kind of games, says Ranveer. I think he meant they're not meant for these sort of games. Yeah, well, I just tweeted it there. It's defence against attack at the moment. Unfortunately, we're the ones doing all the defending. So what are you drinking tonight, Mark? Please call Gunnar Stenthammer Pratt for me, would you? Cheers, says Ollie Fun. I will have a drink tonight. I'm going to have a beer tonight, I think. But it's a little bit early for me at the moment. Here's United with a bit of possession, and it's Rashford on the turn. And we'll get a corner. Good. That was good by Rashford. I mean, really, not a lot going on around him. He spins, he runs at the back four, and there's a tackle. And look, these could be opportunities for United. I honestly think Phil Jones is as good as Maldini, says Ace Rio. He's been drinking. And Mark, help us figure this one out. Spurs kick off at 9 PM this Monday. Have you seen a later UK kick-off time, or is that most likely a record, says Salim Hamid? No, we're not kicking off at 9 PM. Our clocks are going back tonight in the UK. So it's an 8 o'clock kick-off in the UK, but it might be 9 o'clock for others. Corner from Bruno. It's very high. It's well won by Maguire. Oh, here's Werner. Keep him out. Well done, Fred. Keep him over there. United have got it back. So nothing really happening from the corner, which is a shame. Why is Frank disguised as a salty sea dog, says Sean Finity. Oh, see, look at the press of Chelsea here. It's impressive. They've always got 4 or 5 players near the ball. Like homing in on the ball and surrounding it. Which surprises me why we're not hitting the longer ball. It's almost like we've been told to pass our way through Chelsea. And I think at the moment, I wouldn't mind us hitting 1 or 2 longer balls. He's offside. They're not. Dan James is making some good runs off the ball, but we are ignoring them. Oh, that's a terrible ball by Shaw. And Chelsea win it back. See, our passing's been sloppy tonight. Come on, they're coming through our pass. See, look how Chelsea get through our press really easy there. Bruno's like pissed off, you can tell. Serious question. Oh, he's onside here. Havertz, Werner. Oh, I tell you what, he was close to being one-on-one. Serious question. Who's fatter, Frank Lampard or Jabba the Hutt, says Will? I mean, I think that's very offensive, Will. I also don't think Lampard's fat. And PJM, that would have been surely offside on Havertz. Chelsea aren't scared to attack after that first 15 minutes of chess. They know Mata and James won't hurt them, says PJM. Yeah, I think Chelsea will get better and better as this game goes on. Can we get into the game? But it is interesting because I've seen Dan James make a couple of good runs down the left-hand side and Mata and Shaw have ignored him both times. And look, that is the strength of Dan James. So, you know, play that ball. Play that ball. Don't foul him, Scott. You're in the bloody box. Good tackle by Fred. I think he's given a foul. I'm not sure this is a foul. Gets the bloody ball. Martin Atkinson, the Pratt as ever. Can Chelsea keep pressing like this without scoring, says Alvin. Well, we'll find out. Cross chance here. This would be the perfect game for Pogba's creativity. We're playing too deep, says Tejas. Well, this is an opportunity for Reece James to bend across towards the goal. It's a curling cross opportunity from the free kick. I don't think it was a free kick, by the way. And he's tried to go for goal, and David De Gea has saved that easy. I feel like the team doesn't trust James. I've noticed his runs too, but I don't know why he's playing him then, says Dawaz. I think that's a really good point from Dawar, actually. We're not trusting Dan James's runs. Good cross. Reece James heads it away. Second ball. Well done, Fred. Well done, McTominay there. Nice tidying up. Mata's just not quick enough for Reece James there. Very good right back, Reece James. Very good. You know, English football is blessed with quality right backs at the moment. Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously Wan-Bissaka, Reece James, Lamptey, Max Aarons. That's just to name 5. Looks like we're playing for a draw, says Rahul. Yeah, there's not a lot of ambition. I mean, we have got that bench, haven't we? Mata and James need changing, says Rob Davies. Here is James on the left-hand side. Up against Aspilicueta. Just runs into bloody trouble again. Come on, mate. There's not a lot to your game. So when you get an opportunity like that, you've got to do something. Hit it, Scott. Should have hit it first time. He should have hit that first time. Poor again from Dan James, though. Just running into trouble. I'll tell you what, if McTominay can get himself into that sort of position on the edge of the box, it's that sort of a game with this sort of wet ground. He could really do something. May only be 30 minutes in, but right now we could do with half time. James has to come off, and Mata, Van der Beek and Pogba losing the midfield battle at the moment, says Cool Collectible. Mendy there, bloody hell. I'd love that to have gone in. Mendy goes to pass this to... Bloody hell. He's so far off with that pass, he nearly passed it into his own goal. Harry Maguire's on the ground here, not making a big issue of it, so obviously nothing happened. Cross comes in, headed away. McTominay's on the floor. Fred, Bruno. Fred, whip it, Fred. We'll have another corner, though. Oh, yes, we will have a corner. It nearly bloody stayed in. Oh, McTominay. Nah, you're never going to get a penalty for that, unfortunately. Another corner. I think it's Mata on this one. Ooh, good header. Bruno. Ooh, cleared. Take your time. Half an hour gone. Luke Shaw. Watch out behind you, Luke. Hit it, Bruno. Oh, good shot. He's done the right thing there, Bruno. It's on target. It's straight at the keeper. Keeper makes the save, but exactly the right thing to do to shoot. And Luke Shaw and... in fact, Dan James, it wasn't Mata. It was Dan James did the right thing there. Bruno hits it where he can hit it. There's two defenders on him. So that's a little bit better from United, to be fair. But again, they're just getting through our press. Really, look at Chelsea there. The way they've played through our press there. They've took 6 players out. See, they're getting through our press way better than we are. From a tactical point, this has happened 3 times now. See, Wan-Bissaka shouldn't go to ground there. If they'd scored from there, that's the weakness of going to the ground. Because when you go to ground and you lose the tackle, you're out the game. He should stay on his feet there. He does go to ground too much. He's brilliant at going to the ground. But the downside of going to the ground is if you do lose the tackle, you're out the game. But yeah, Chelsea, United are trying to press. And they are not phased. They are just passing through it. Whereas we are not able to do that at the moment because I don't think we've got players good enough. Chelsea just looking a bit of a threat here. Pulisic up against McTominay. Skips past him. Shoots straight at De Gea. But too easy. I think people get past McTominay too easy. Taking some notes from a match reaction. Bruno looks tired, says Dinnerly. He never stops running, does he? Go wide, go wide, go wide. What you got? Oh. Just Seb walking through with this. He's got some tomatoes. There you go. Breaking news. Highlight of the half. Maguire having a good game, to be fair. Midfield has been overrun. We need control in midfield, says KA. I agree. I don't think at the moment our back line looks too bad. Defensively, we're looking all right. Oh, Fred. Fucking hell, Fred. You can't get stuck there. And Pulisic shoots wide, but that's it. See Fred here, first touch. That's exactly what Troy Deeney was on about, and he's not wrong. You know, Fred's first touch can sometimes get him in trouble. They've got a corner here. Cross comes in. Maguire heads it. Let's get the second ball out. Well done, well done. Oh. Welcome to the members club, Jan Clabby and Tomato Bridge, says the watcher. Thank you very much. Not actually a big fan of tomatoes, if I tell you the truth. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand community. If you are new or you haven't subscribed, you can do that by clicking the button in the bottom right-hand corner. Lots to get involved with. Lots of games coming up. And Chelsea, he's going to have to make changes, isn't he? We're just not... I don't know if anyone knows the possession stats, but it's not good. Mark, you've been right about Mata always. He's dreadful in games like this, says Kay Chino. Just don't think he's quick enough. Just don't think that this suits him at all. I think Fred and McTominay are okay in a game like this, but I don't... I mean, Rashford may as well be sat on the bench. He's just not... And here we go! Oh, here we go! Rashford's in! Get your shot off! Good save by Mendy. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes. A bit of a mistake by Chelsea. And Mata's there to feed Rashford in. Bruno's in on it. Quickly into Mata. He was well onside Rashford. Probably should have gone a little bit closer, to be honest. I think he could have gone a little bit closer, but it's a good save by Mendy, and Rashford gets the shot off well. Good save by Mendy. Corner to United, and that's it. That one little lapse in concentration from Chelsea, and we were in. Mata. It's a crap corner, though. Mark, you might need to get PJs on for the second half, says Matt MUFC. And Bruno's running around too much, compensating for Mata. McTominay doesn't bring enough for me, and neither does James. Doesn't have killer instincts, says Daniel Luciano. See, Mata's good here. If you get Mata on the ball when we're in the final third, that's where Mata's great. The problem is we haven't been in the final third a lot. We're having to defend a lot, and then the lack of pace of Mata really hurts us. It's like I said before the game. Juan Mata has got the footballing brain and ability on the ball of a Zidane, but he's got the pace of a dead snail buried in concrete. And the snail's already dead. I'm just saying, a dead snail is slow. It's even slower when it's buried in concrete. But yeah, he's just got no pace. So if you're going to be defending a lot, Mata becomes a problem. If you're going to be high up the pitch like you were against Newcastle, he's an asset. Bruno's so good on the ball, you know. See, what's McTominay's passing has been terrible this half. We can get something out of this game, you know, though, because Chelsea defensively, well in McTominay. Oh, work hard, Fred. Well done. Well done. Good battling by Fred there. Mark, this game is shocking, and I'm currently also doing a Sancho watch at the moment, as well as this game. Oh, what I would have done to have him at our club, says Andrew C. Get Cavani in. This game's not for Cavani, though, is it? Where would you put Cavani in this pitch? I mean, look, I know we all want to see him play, but I think you've also got to read a game tactically, even if you don't really understand tactics, and I know most of you do, but where would you put Cavani in this game? Because Rashford is just there for the hit on the break with a bit of pace. You know, Cavani's a player, really, that you'd use against a Newcastle or a West Ham. He's not going to be useful in a game like this. Unless we're intending to push Chelsea back. Mark, love the content and channel. Keep it up, says Champion Lion. Thank you, pal. Oh, Luke Shaw. He's going to get booked as well. It's a bit of a soft yellow card, that, by Luke. Soft yellow shot. Soft yellow, that. You don't have to foul just because somebody gets past you. So it's another chance for Chelsea to whip a cross in. 38 minutes. Thanks for the super chat there, Igor. And Sadek says that McTominay's part of the problem here. And Tejas says that Bruno's looking fatigued and Ollie might have to take him off. He's one of our better players. Cross comes in. Maguire does well. Some Chelsea players are trying to get a penalty there. I don't think they're going to get one. Donny van der Beek has no football intelligence. Has football intelligence as Mata and a better, quicker player. Don't think Ollie would have picked Sancho if he would have had him. What's Maguire doing? I'll tell you what, I think that's a penalty by Maguire. I think that is a bloody penalty. That is a penalty. Pogba for McTominay. Van der Beek for James, says Jonathan Matthews. And Juan Mata's brain in Dan James' body would be one of the best footballers in the world, says Patrick St. Pierre. I agree with you on that one. Mata. Good shot, good save. Edge of the box. Another chance. I mean, you know, I think we've had more shots on goal than Chelsea, even though Chelsea played the better side. Luke Shaw does well here, knocks it into Rashford. And it's a good shot by Mata. I think keeper's always going to save it, but it's a good shot. And VAR is looking at something here. I don't know what it's looking at. Well, Rashford's down injured here. I thought it was a penalty for Chelsea. Whoa, that is a penalty. That is a kick on Rashford, but I don't think it's a penalty. Thiago Silva does kick Rashford after the ball's gone. If they were to give a penalty for this, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh because I actually thought I thought Maguire did foul Azpilicueta. Obviously, I don't think this will be a penalty. Would be a soft penalty, says KA. I don't think it's going to be a penalty. It's going to be a corner. VAR probably got that right, to be fair. I mean, because if we'd got a penalty and they didn't, it would have been a bit unfair and just. Corner's going to get cleared here. Yeah, I thought United were a little bit unlucky. Little bit lucky. I mean, let's be honest with you. I mean, you could say that's a penalty on Rashford. Plays the ball. After it's gone, he's kicked him. Oh, it's a bit harsh, to be honest, but anyway, the penalty's not been given, and I actually did think that Maguire's handling of Azpilicueta could have been a penalty. So it's probably about fair. Lovely play there by Bruno. I think Bruno's ball distribution has been really good. But yeah, again, we're ignoring Dan James. That's a nice ball by Luke Shaw. Dan James. Well done. Good tracking by Fred. Now Chilwell coming forward. Good tackle, Wan-Bissaka. Well done. It's a foul by Kante on Bruno. I mean, are we growing into this game? Do you think we're growing into the game? I think it's a grafting performance. But as I said, this game just reminds me a little bit of... It's like we've got half our team out injured and we're trying to do a job with what we've got. When the reality is we haven't got half our team injured. Our better players are on the bench. Lovely flick by Bruno there. I think Bruno's ball distribution has been fantastic tonight. Here's Dan James. It's a Mata. Roll it back again. Fred wanted that. Well done, Luke Shaw. Oh, flicked into the keeper there. My feeling about the game is that United have had the better chances, but Chelsea have got the better players and are better on the ball. They're just not making anything happen. But as I said, I've said this a few times, and I know if you've said it in the live comments, if we can keep it like this until 60 minutes, then we've got the better subs to make. Dan James has been so ineffective this half. Possible sub at half time. Sia from South Africa. Thanks, Sia, for the super chat. Yeah, he's not been good, Dan James. And following on from that, we've had another super chat from Kean Brady who says, can we all just take a moment to realise how useless Dan James is? One minute added on here. I mean, the one thing I would say, it's been a very, very quick half. Thanks for the super chat from Andrew Ackers. And I think Ollie's planned to make Fred run, and we will see Pogba when plays open up and Fred is tired. Best bench in a long time, this, says Chelsea. Yeah, it's the best bench, but it's the worst. It's not a great starting lineup, is it? Seems like Ollie's game plan depends on subs in the second half to stir things up and take opposition by surprise. Here's to hoping, says Frankie O'Connor. And we've done that one. And Gerhard says, Dan James is consistently rubbish. Here is Mata in a good position. Wan-Bissaka. Oh, it's a good cross. Mendy's done quite well for them. Apart from nearly passing it in his own goal. He's done quite well for them. Holds on to the ball well there. Mark, this game is such an anti-climax from the previous two games. This shows Ollie is too pragmatic and conservative and afraid to take Chelsea on. It's a 90-minute game though, Andrew. And what do you think of the game, Mark, says Vignesh. Well, it is half-time now. So I'm just going to stop the clock. Look, my thoughts on that game is that it's flown by that first half, but it has been a wet game of chess. It's, you know, Chelsea have created next to nothing, have they? Let's be honest. Manchester United have actually had the better chances, even though I think Chelsea have played the more... it's a bit like last season, you know what? I think Lampard's probably a little bit worried because it reminds me a lot of last season where, yeah, Chelsea were the better footballing side with the better, you know, more attacking approach, but United win the game. And Lampard will be very wary of that. If I was Chelsea, I'd be a bit frustrated with the fact that they've not created anything. And I mean anything. There's not really been any decent shots. There've been a couple of shots, but nothing of note. Whereas United have had the better chances, Mata and Rashford with decent shots. But it's like we're playing with 10 men. Dan James has been awful. I think defensively, Mata's lack of pace is a problem. We need to be higher up the pitch to use Mata better. McTominay's passing's been poor. We've just not transitioned well, and we've not utilised Dan James' pace. And if you're not going to use Dan James' pace, it basically becomes like you're down to 10 men. On a good note, we can officially say that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is back, says Justice O. I think the United Stand community is being a little hard on James. Let's not be too negative towards our own, says Rockin' Toes. No, I agree with you, mate. I just said it there. If you're not going to utilise his pace, and we have refused, I've seen Shaw and Mata refuse hitting the ball in the channel when he's making a run. If you're not going to utilise his pace, there's not really much point in having him. I actually think we might be the more threatening first half team, as scary as our tactics have looked at times. What does James do besides simply run, says Axel. And I only think about this game is second half we can sub on prime Barcelona, says Hader Hamand. And half time, take James off, get Greenwood on the 60, get Pogba on for Mata and go the Diamonds, says Ninja Smurf United. Well, I hope that's on the agenda to do something like that, because, you know, you look at our bench, you've got Cavani, Van der Beek, Pogba, Greenwood, Matic. There are loads and loads of options where you can change that team. I mean, we've even got Twansebi if you want to use him. So there are a lot of options for us to, if we want to do that. Flex, can you hear me?
Yeah, I have two cycles.
Flex.
Yo.
Did Ollie have a new corner taker, says Hadrian, and could control the game with Pogba and Van der Beek instead of McTominay and James. We're losing this game in the midfield, says Tyson Marley. Yeah, Flex, what was your thoughts on that half then? A lot of people going in on Dan James saying that, you know, if he can't use his pace, he's not a footballer. It's a bit like having 10 men.
Yeah, I can see why people are saying that. I think with the way Chelsea set up, that's one thing I did say was that it would be interesting to see how our 4 does against the 5, or our front 3 does against their 5, should I say. And it's been a struggle. It's not really the game for Dan James, to be honest. They've got Reece James in that pocket of space there, who's obviously quick. And then you've got Azpilicueta, right centre-back, who's just going to come in and sweep up anything. He's got 2 men to beat. He usually struggles to beat just the one. So yeah, it quickly became a game not for Dan James, and I think you could see that. I think Mata, I did say I thought he would, you know, be involved and have a good game. He just completely vacates the right, which I understand you could say makes us imbalanced, but we don't play with proper wingers. We don't. Dan James is the only kind of winger in inverted commas that we have. So, but what Matt is doing is coming in and trying to make things happen and play intelligently. I just don't like the way we've just let the half pass us by. The intensity's
by,
down,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the intensity's down. We're not pressing. We're allowing them to have the ball. It's like we're really scared of losing the game. And Chelsea for large parts as well. We're not going to act like Chelsea have been amazing because they haven't as well. They've just been quite defensive and negative.
They've created nothing really, Chelsea, have they?
No,
I'd be pissed off if I was a Chelsea fan.
Really. Yeah, and Mendy's been the busiest, making genuine saves. Everything's been right at the hair just to pick up. Fred made a mistake where Pulisic got shot off, but other than that,
Maguire and Lindelof have looked very comfortable.
Yeah, apart from Maguire's lucky though. VAR didn't even look at that.
I thought that was a pen. When I saw it, I thought if that goes VAR, he'll give it, and they didn't.
It's a joke, and I don't know whether it's a bias that's towards us, that's in our favour, because I do see why some people say it exists, because then you go up the other end and then nitpicking, trying to find something in the Rashford one, when Maguire has got his hands all over Azpilicueta and it's a penalty. So I don't get that, and that just feeds the criticism of why do Man United get some decisions, and that I don't know why VAR didn't look at, but obviously it worked in our favour. But we've got to be aware of that. I just look. It's easy to say change the shape, change it. I'm not even sure it's definitely a shape thing. I just think we need to play with more intensity. We need to play higher up. We need to go after them.
I think if you put Pogba or Van der Beek where Dan James is, we're not utilising his pace.
No.
And we spoke before the game. He's playing because of his pace. Well, we're not utilising it. When he gets the ball, he just runs into a brick wall. So to me, get a footballer on.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be exactly there like football, if you're gonna be like Dan James in that position where your game has suffered because you're not running in behind, you're not getting it, then you have to play like a matter. You have to come inside, pick up little pockets, play triangles, play 1-2s, get yourself on the edge of the box. You have to play intelligently, and we haven't done that. I mean, this one here, I thought Rashford could have maybe taken an extra touch closer to the goal.
Yeah, I do as well.
But Mendy, to be fair, shuts down both the angles and kind of makes Rashford's mind up for him. But that looked like the only way we was going to kind of hurt Chelsea there, was waiting for it on the break, though, really. Yeah. But we've had the two most meaningful shots of the game, which isn't anything to brag about, but it's interesting considering we've played that poorly. Like, we've got nothing to fear against Chelsea. Not nothing to fear, but we shouldn't be fearing them as much as this. If we go and put it on PSG, that's why I think maybe the fact that they've got the 5 and we've got the 4 is actually maybe hurting us. Maybe if we both played a 5, we'd probably put them under a bit more pressure if we had 2 up front. But Oli obviously didn't decide to go for that. But
it feels like 45 minutes. It's a 45-minute game now, isn't it? That first half, you don't really learn anything, and now we're all going to be in that second half talking about the subs and I don't know. I'd be very surprised if we saw against Arsenal next week this 11 again. I think the experiment's over. Like I didn't think it was the right team to pick. I understand why he's done it because he beat Newcastle, but you can't leave that many players on the bench. You can't leave Pogba, Greenwood, Van der Beek, Matic, Twansebi and Cavani on the bench. When you look at that starting 11, it makes no sense.
What is Harry Maguire thinking?
Such a penalty, isn't it?
It's actually a disgrace what he's doing there. And VAR, like, I completely see why other fans of other teams are like, you get the rub of the green, and that you have to say it as it is. Like, of course I don't want us to lose, but I also want us to win the right way. I want us to, if we deserve to get a penalty given against us, then it should be given against you. You want it to be fair.
I thought it was a penalty. I was terrified. When you're watching the game and you're waiting for him to blow up and go and check.
Yeah, and the VAR didn't even get checked. And then Rashford's minute clip on the ankle, on the heel from Thiago Silva, was looked at from a couple of times, and there's nothing in it. So I don't get that. I just want to win the right way, and if we lose, I want it to lose fairly. So I don't like that. But Maguire, again, this is what I mean. Like, you're bigger.
He's lucky because, to be honest, if we go in at half time 1-0 down, a lot of people wouldn't have picked Maguire, and he would be getting pelters for that because there's no excuse
100%.
for that. 100%,
no excuse, man. And it's not even just about jumping on Harry Maguire's back just because it's him and it's he's the villain right now. It's any of us. Like, it's just bad defending, and I don't understand. It's just the VAR thing keeps going, and we've got the rubber to green again, and I can see why. You know,
Respect, says Will N to Flex for his honesty. Hate to give United fans credit, but he's a good lad. Duncan says, such a boring half. Dan James hasn't been quick all year. Factor in his lack of IQ, and it's like playing with 10 men. Just glad we've got a strong bench. In James' defence, no one is encouraging his runs. Shaw had a few chances to put the ball down, but he didn't. I think, George, I would agree with you on that. I miss Martial. I wish we had quality reserve striker. Unsure of Cavani, says Namo Defesh. Cavani be useless in a game like this because it's all on the break. And yeah, I mean, I think that you're right about that comment from George about people refusing the Dan James ball. But I think, you know what? I've played football. You've played football, Flex. Maybe they're refusing it because they don't trust giving him the ball. You know.
It's not just that. The ball's not.
McTominay's passing's been terrible as well.
McTominay's passing's been bad. Fred did one early on where he passed it out, but he was looking at James just to say, just stay there.
Flex, just 1 minute. I'm just going to pop to the toilet. So finish that and then tell people what subs you'd make as well.
Yeah, there was a position with Fred, and he's basically saying, just wait there. I know Fred passed it out, but I just don't think the ball's actually on to Dan James. It isn't even all his fault. He got into a couple of positions where he's got 2 men to beat, tried to skip inside. Another position where he gave the ball away from a decent position as well, running in towards the box. But he's going to get through few and far between. So for me, I would take him off and put Van der Beek there. I really would. I was considering maybe even changing the shape and going 2 up and play the diamond. But we might struggle in midfield with that. But I probably would do that because Van der Beek and Pogba have to come into this side. I mean, McTominay's not playing the best. I can see why he obviously went with him for the energy and the robustness. And obviously that midfielder has been playing great, but it didn't then. But I just think we've got to play with more intensity. It's very easy to say change loads of things, but that team there that's on the pitch is capable of playing quicker at least. And, you know, Chelsea are not. They're not coming at us. They're playing within themselves as well. They're not, you know, for how good Pulisic, Werner and Havertz are. Have they really caused us trouble? I haven't even seen Werner touch the ball yet, really. It's only been Pulisic with a couple of little runs in. So for me, I would take Dan James off at half-time, but I don't think Ollie's going to do that. I'd put Van der Beek or Pogba out there, or I'd put Bruno out there on the left and play Van der Beek or Pogba in the 10 or in an advanced position. Failing that, you could always take off McTominay for Fred as well. So that's what I would do. Don't think Mark's back. Probably having a shit. Oh, he's back now. I can hear him. Maybe not. But yeah, I just think it's that half has gone far too quickly. It's to the half you can't get back, and it was just too easy. After a positive bounce against PSG, you then think, right, take some of that into the Chelsea game, and it's like we just went back a couple of steps and just played within ourselves. I didn't really like that. So for me, he's got to make them changes early because it's not a game for Dan James. It just isn't. It's just not a game where Dan James can be effective. He's back.
He's back.
He's back.
Yeah, so I think the changes I would make, and I would make it at half-time, but I'll guarantee you Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won't. I would take off Dan James for Pogba or Van der Beek, one of the two. Now, we need to win this game. And, you know, that 45 minutes went really quick. You know these games are going to be tight. And I think just going out with that same 11, it's inevitable that Dan James is coming off. So get him off at half-time, I would. He's done it before.
Yeah. I mean, I did say when he's gone out, that's probably the change I'd make. But I just know, I think Ollie will keep it the same for 5-10 minutes.
Oh, he will,
Which I don't see much in. I don't see why. Like you said, he did take Dan James at half-time the last time, but I don't know. I just want to see some more intensity. Like I said, we can nitpick and change a lot, but also just the attitude of the team. Like, stop being so scared of Chelsea.
Yeah.
Stop playing within yourself.
They can only get better as well. I don't think they created anywhere near enough.
No, exactly. So Lampard will be saying the same thing. Man United haven't exactly come at us. Let's go and express ourselves. So we need to be doing the same thing, and we need to take the high ground to do it before they do, because they're going to go up a gear as well, because they wasn't great. Their front three, for how good it is, wasn't great. I haven't seen Werner in the game running in behind. He hasn't gotten the end of anything. It's only been a couple of half chances for Pulisic. So, yeah, boring game.
Ollie's starting lineup is so negative, says Andrew Ellis. Yeah, well, look, I think he had the right to pick that team. It's just, in fairness, I think what I would say, Flex, is that we're all right. You know, I think a lot of people were just like, well, look, he's got the right to pick that team, but we were worried about it. And ultimately, those fears have come through, and I think that has to be the last time he goes with that 11 now.
Yeah, if it continues like that, look, if they come out of a house on fire and really turn it on, then he'll have a case. But that's what I mean. It's about picking the right team for the right game. And against Newcastle, it was the right team for the right game. And so far, it looks like that might not be the case. But it hasn't been we haven't been able to create anything. It hasn't been as bad as it could have been with that team.
You know what it feels like to me? I just think if you sent that team out today against Liverpool, you'd expect to get beat.
Yeah.
I know Chelsea aren't at that level of Liverpool, but it's like, the funny thing is, I said it in the first half, if we had a load of injuries and put that team out, you just go, look, we've got to go with what we've got. But I'm looking at that bench and I'm going, oh my God, you've got Greenwood, Pogba, Van der Beek, and we're playing Dan James. And I'm like, it doesn't, it's an experiment. It doesn't work. Let's never do it again, because that team on my left cannot be Manchester United starting 11 this season. It can't. You've got to get some of these players from the bench into it, and yeah, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. George says James out, Bruno to the left, Cavani and Pogba should come in playing 10 and put the balls in by Bruno and Mata from the flanks. Welcome to the members club, KJ Bez. And also Chelsea says Pogba, Bruno and Van der Beek would have better passing and extra we need. This game isn't about speed but passing. He is still right. His 90 minutes game, says Chelsea. Well, it's all going to come to our his subs again, isn't it? And let's not forget, you know what, everyone's saying even I've said he's got a right to pick this team. Of course he has, but this team, if we're absolutely honest, was 1-1 with Newcastle. So I don't really even understand why he's gone with it, because it was the subs that won the game anyway. But he's going to go with the same team second half, Flex. We can see it there. Yeah,
there you go. Look, Dan James is ready to go. So, I mean, if I don't see a drastic improvement in intensity and intent, it's got to be an early change. It really does, because Chelsea will be looking to go up gears. And the thing is, they've got their players on the pitch who can go up gears. We don't. So that's where it's going to be interesting for me.
Yeah, I just feel it's inevitable he's going to have to make those subs, and the sooner he makes them, the better, because the subs have got longer to get into the game. But look, we'll see you on the full-time show with KG. Looking forward to that, and hopefully it's not going to be... I don't think a draw is a good result. I think we've got to try and win this.
No, not in this manner. A draw is only a good result. Like you said, if you've been at it and you was unlucky and two teams went for it, and you can say, okay, cool, or you came from behind. But this is a level playing field, and that half has flown past. I'd rather not get a draw playing like this. I'd rather go for it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, let's hopefully we can and get the W. Okay, mate. Well, we'll see you on the show in a bit, and thanks for tuning in at half time. Cool, nice one. Speak to you in a bit, pal. You can follow Flex on Twitter at FlexUTD. Second half has just kicked off, and the timer should be up on your screens, which it is. And if Premier League still had 5 sub, I think we'd be able to win easy, says Jeff T. It's almost like we're playing that we do have 5. And Mark, can you check if Dan James has any dirty secrets on Ricky, because he always says he should be starting. You can see Ricky's fan cam after the game, and I'm sure he will tell you that Dan James had a fantastic game as well. Ollie's selection of Dan James says one thing, fear, says Alrico. Oh, look, I hope it works. Here's Fred, he's won it high up the pitch. Mata, and Fred's going to get booked. Got to be careful about red cards in a game like this. Lampard's looking mad. I would be mad, Tazio. If I was Frank Lampard, I would be mad. Fred and James went off for Pogba and Van der Beek. Then we won versus Newcastle, says Pete Squire. That was a booking on by Fred there. It definitely was. Remember, you can do your player ratings in the second half. We'll open up the website and you can mark every United player out of 10, 6 being average. And then when I do my match reaction show after the game, I'll give my ratings, and when I click it, it'll aggregate your thousands of votes. So it's the best Man United player rating system out there. I'll tell you when that's out. Oh, also as well, remember you can win an £800 voucher with Boohoo Man. Link in the video description. All you got to do is click the link in the video description,
fill in your details, and a winner will be picked at random on Monday lunchtime and announced on the Monday night show. £800 voucher from Boohoo Man. I'm wearing something from their Boohoo Man range at the moment. They're sponsoring the show. Big shout out to them. Also, if you just want to get something from Boohoo Man, we have got a 40% discount code. Just put your stuff in your checkout, and then on checkout use the code UNITEDSTAND for a 40% discount. And as I said, if you want to win an £800 voucher, you can enter by going through the link in the video description. But I tell you what, Chilwell's here on the left-hand side. Good play by Wan-Bissaka, and he's won it as well. Give it to Fred. To Bruno, sorry. Look at Dan James. Now, this is where Dan James is a threat. Up against Azpilicueta. Run him. Run it. Oh, fucking run him. He's useless. Get him off. Get James off. What a prat. He's so predictable. I can't believe what he's just done there. He's cut inside where there's 3 Chelsea players when he's got to go on the outside of Azpilicueta. And Azpilicueta can just see he's got no left foot. It's so annoying. That is exactly what he's on the pitch for. And he cuts inside. It's just a lack of football intelligence. He's not. This game's too much for him. I hope he goes on and scores a tap-in or something, but... Oh, Maguire's been done here. That is awful. Absolutely bloody awful. All Dan James does is get his head down and then try and cut in on the right-hand side. And I tell you what, I could teach my 11-year-old to tackle him because he's always going to come in on the inside. He's got to learn more. Like, this is the thing. We said this about Dan James last season. There's a raw... He's got some really good raw qualities, but he's got to get more to his game in the Premier League. Championship player says Chins of depression. Well, at the moment, that is the thing. He's playing like a championship player in the Premier League. Maguire was a little bit lucky there. Oh no, they're showing this from the first half. I think that was definitely a penalty for Chelsea. I think Maguire's very lucky there. Bruno into Rashford on the left-hand side. Good running. And that'll be a throw-in. Dan James is trying, says Diesel. Yep, he's trying everyone's patience. No, look, to be fair to the lad, he's just out of his depth, isn't he? It's not his fault. He is trying his best. He's just not good enough. That's the thing. It's not a bloody vendetta or a hate thing. Some players are just not good enough. Corner to United. Ollie will have seen that. He ain't stupid. He won't be happy with that. Bruno will take this corner. James actually says James is not good enough. His best is not good enough. Get him off. Bruno into Mata. Got a bit of time. Cut back. Fred. Mata must have been offside there. What was he bloody doing? Just let it... Why didn't you leave it, Mata? It was going to go for a bloody corner. I don't know what Mata's doing here. Fred shoots. It deflects off someone. And Mata goes and keeps it on in an offside position. Let it go for a bloody corner. Well, Cavani's warming up, but I don't know. I don't know that this game is for Cavani unless we're going to go 2 up front. In this system, we're too much based on hitting on the break. Lee Evans says it's disrespectful to say that Dan James isn't good enough. Not if you've watched the last 50 minutes, it's not, mate. I hope he scores. His pace is a threat, but if football's all about pace, then it'd just be 11 speedsters, wouldn't it? 11 speedsters. I like Dan James. I don't rate him, nothing personal, but he has not improved in his first 12 months. An absolute one-trick pony of a player, says Mark Whitten. It was said on United Stand, judge him in his second season. I think if United had bought Sancho, we would have sold him anyway. I think he's just being used because that's what Ollie's got. Let's not forget, was it the first 3 games of the season he wasn't even on the bench? And he was fit. So, there you go. Here's Chelsea. I just feel that this game could go, if Chelsea get a goal, and here is Werner, good block by Harry Maguire. I just feel if Chelsea get a goal, we're going to struggle to get it. The first goal is going to be key in this game. Cavani and Rashford up front together would work, says Real New Money. And James probably been playing academy football since he was 8. He should know better than to run at defenders. No excuse. Seen better at grassroots levels, says May's Too Hot. I really hope Ollie makes his subs early, says Vignesh. Oh, see, that's weak by Dan James. Fucking hell. That could have been a goal there. Havertz just... I mean, realistically, when we're doing the player ratings, if I was giving a Dan James a mark out at the moment out of 10, I'd give him 4. It's not good. Palestri on the left at some point, says Cruz. Well, he's not on the bench today. I suppose you're probably talking longer term, aren't you? That's a goal kick. James is the new Pereira. Perfect game for Pogba, says Jacob. I just don't think the pace of Dan James is that important in a game like this. Get Van der Beek on. Dan James makes Fellaini look like Messi, says Road to Dawn. Hey Mark, great show as always. Dan James is the Happy Gilmore of the football world, says Ringo Impressa. Well, I hope it's all just been set up for him to score. Cavani's coming on. And Pogba. So he's going to make a quick double substitution because he needs to. Rashford will go to the left, I reckon. And I think Fred will come on off for Pogba. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. We're only 100 subscribers away from 885,000. Bottom right-hand corner to do that is Pulisic. Little dink. Luke Shaw does a good job. That goes for a goal kick. Good defensive play there. Yeah, bottom right-hand corner. We're only 100 away from 885,000. So please subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. Pogba and Cavani coming on. So here we go. Number 7. Makes his debut for Manchester United. Hopefully. Chelsea are just starting to get a bit of control here. Run it, one. Run it. Oh, no, you gone wrong there. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I cringe when I hear Ricky, who has a great understanding of football, say James played well, says Sir Romelu Lukaku. Well, watch Ricky's fan cam later, and I'll ask him, because I'm interviewing him tonight, so I'll ask him about Dan James. Come on, we want to win this game. I think Chelsea have been quite disappointing as well. Oh, Wan-Bissaka, that's terrible. Lindelof's got it. I'm telling you now, Mark. He keeps the shape of the team. Dan James' decision-making nullifies any threat his pace poses, says Barrett Powers. Well, Chelsea have kept another... It's almost like Chelsea want to keep a clean sheet more than winning the game at the moment, because they have kept a good defensive shape. And obviously Chelsea's problem in the first few games of the season was they were scoring lots of goals, but they were conceding a lot of goals. And then midweek it was 0-0 against Sevilla. It's 0-0 here after 55 minutes. And I think Lampard would obviously love nothing more than a clean sheet and a win. Lovely take by Bruno. And it's Rashford down the left-hand side. Attack the penalty box. Attack the penalty box. Needs a pass. There's nothing going for him. Bruno to Fred. Wait for Luke Shaw. Good play by Dan James and a corner. Couldn't get the shot off there, Rashford. Just too many people. And it's a double substitution. It's Cavani and Pogba. And that just instantly improves our team. And it's, I think it's Mata and James. Mata doesn't look very happy. To be honest, I think that's the right choice. I think he's got it right. I thought he'd take Fred off. So we'll go to a diamond, which is what we did against PSG. We've done the short corner again. Oh, Cavani, first touch, side netting. Huh. Unbelievable. Bruno with the cross. He got his foot on it and it goes into the side netting. I mean, it would have been an amazing finish if he'd scored from it. Look at his movement, though. It's a little flick. I think it should have been a corner. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was close. Come on, United. Well, now we've got the better players on. I think, you know, Mata's we should have a bit of momentum now. Watch out, Fred's on a yellow. The game should open up a little bit now. That midfield diamond of McTominay, Bruno, Fred, and Cavani and Rashford. I don't know whether it is a front two because Rashford seems to have gone very much to the left. Half an hour to go. Plenty of time to go. I'll say it again. No, don't make a tackle, Fred, there. Bloody hell. Not on a yellow. I don't know whether Fred would be... I mean, Fred's a very good player to have on for his energy, but I just do worry about a second yellow card. It's a 4-1-4-1. First goal. Whoever gets the first goal is getting something out of this game, whether it be a win or a draw. Oh, my life. What a cross. And I think it's Havertz coming in on the back post or Pulisic coming in on the back post. Reece James with the cross. Thanks. I just don't... I think somebody gets something on it. Lindelof or something just takes it off the foot of Pulisic. Who, oh, my life. That's Chelsea's chance of the game, that. I think Maguire gets a little bit on it that takes it off the foot of Pulisic because it would have been a tap-in. Nice take by Pogba. Pogba's in the box. Nice switch there to Wan-Bissaka. Come on, come on. It's there for the taking now. I've changed the team up a little bit. I mean, that's a weird formation, as you can see, but... what's that, McTominay? McTominay's passing's been terrible tonight. Lindelof into Pogba. Rashford. Well, that's really well done by Reece James. Bullied him off the ball. And this is where you worry about Werner's pace against Lindelof. Watch him, watch him. The game's starting to open up now. Oh, Wan-Bissaka. I don't know why. I don't like how... I mean, it's a great tackle again, but I do not like how he goes sliding in all the time. The game is opening up now. I'm nervous. I'm proper nervous. I'm proper nervous now. I need a stretch. Corner to Chelsea, by the way. Well, they want another penalty here. And Pogba's gone down from a Reece James tackle, and he stayed down, and the referee has pulled it back. But Boomer is saying he should be having another penalty here. Zuma, sorry, Boomer. I don't think he's a boomer. I think to be a boomer, you've got to be over a certain age. But nah. Yeah, that's not a foul on Zuma. And to be fair, it wasn't a foul on Pogba. It was just a coming together. God. I don't think this is going to finish 0-0. I think there's going to be a winner in this game. But again, it's just tension, isn't it? Tension. Which way do you think it's going to go, everyone? Give us an Oasis slide away for Wan-Bissaka, says King Monkey. Slide away. He does slide too much. Hey, just while we've got a break in the play, remember we are sponsored by Boohoo Man today. If you want to go in the draw to win an £800 voucher, it's free to enter. Links in the video description. Winner's going to be picked on Monday lunchtime. I'll announce it on the 8 o'clock show on Monday night. Just fill in your details and the winner will be picked at random. Or you can get 40% off by using United Stand when you check out through the website. But... a little bit is going to get added on at the end here because of this break in the play. Should have bought in Van der Beek instead of Pogba, says Naveen. Well, Van der Beek's down the pecking order, isn't he, at the moment? I'm proper nervous. I feel like this game is season specific. It's like, if you can get the win here, you can build on something. If you lose, you're back at square one. Mata was so good last game only after Pogba came on, says CA. I actually thought he would keep Mata on a little bit longer, and Mata was shaking his head a little bit when he came off, so I don't think Mata agreed with it. Nice ball by Fred, that. But I suppose it's Fred's tenacity that that keeps him on. Mark, you said it's the game either ends in a 4-4 or a board draw. Seems to be the latter. Also, Haaland just scored from Sancho assist. We can only dream, says Andrew C. Why should I have to pay $14.95 to watch Arsenal because it's on box office when I'm already paying £100 a month for Sky, says Big Josh. Take it to an Arsenal channel. We had to pay for Newcastle last week. Well done, Fred. A few people are saying we're playing Pogba when Van der Beek should be on. It's a 4-2-3-1 with Pogba, Cam and Bruno right side, says NBA 2K Swiss. Well, no, Pogba's drifting to the left, to be fair. It does look more like what I've set out there. I've gone with sort of average positions. I've obviously not set out a formation there. I tell you what, this game's petering out a little bit at the moment. I wonder if Chelsea will dare to bring Ziyech on. I think Lampard would be happy with a draw here. Sophie says it's a frustrating game. It's been a very... a draw's no good, says Daz. No, I mean, a draw's better than a loss, obviously, but... Let's see, Pogba just loses a header there. So thankful for you in the United stand, Mark. Mate, watching United entertaining even when it's boring, says Frankie O'Connor. Thanks for the super chat. This game is crying out for Van der Beek. Bring him on for Scott, says Tejaz. I think the only way Van der Beek's going to come on is if he comes on for Bruno now. I don't really see where he would get brought on. Lovely takedown by Rashford. He's into the box. It's a lovely ball by Maguire. Oh, it just doesn't drop for us there. Lovely ball by Maguire. Rashford's got in behind. Just didn't break for us, but it's a lovely ball by Maguire. And I don't know, Rashford could have been off, to be fair. Would have been checked, but edge of the box ball was on to Pogba, really. But, you know, Rashford's not going to look at that. To be fair, Chelsea have defended as a unit that's made it very hard. I think Lampard's learnt his lesson from last year. They've made it very hard for us to get at them. They've got a lot of players behind the box, behind the ball, Chelsea, and I think they're sitting in to hit us on the break. Cavani on the right-hand side. Whips it. Pogba can't get near it. 20 minutes to go. We'll get the player ratings link up for you in the next few minutes. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. We're only about 20 subscribers away from 885. Bottom right hand corner to do that. Yeah, we're 20 away from 885,000. So bottom right hand corner, please subscribe if you're new or if you haven't subscribed. I don't think Van der Beek came to United to sit on the bench while James starts. Eventually Pogba and Van der Beek both on the bench will be a problem for Solskjaer, says Biggie third. I don't think we can do it again, Biggie. I don't think we can go with that experiment again. Chelsea could win this game. Good block by Fred because Reece James has got a very good hit on him. Aspilicueta just goes through the back of Rashford. Tammy Abraham and Mount. Werner off. Does that make Chelsea less of a threat? And Havertz off. Werner and Havertz off. Thanks for the super chat, the Inquisition. We've got to be very careful here because you would think that Havertz and Werner off for Abraham and Mount makes Chelsea less of a threat, but it might not. Wendy sub McTominay's hard work but poor technical ability for Van der Beek's hard work and quality technical ability. The way we've been using him is a joke, says Robbo FM. I think the momentum is with United now, and I think it's more United against defence and Chelsea looking to hit us on the break. I may be right, I may be wrong. I mean, Prince says that's actually a powerful change by Chelsea. Cavani to score a worldie goal for the win. Come on, United. Keep up the good work, Mark. Says Eminem is the best. I just want us to nick this now. I think the 3 points are just huge. What is that? What the fuck is that by Lindelof? He gets away with it, but that's pub football, to throw it onto someone's foot to just blast it forward. Luke Shaw's got it. Mendy clears. Well, to be fair to Ollie, the centre-back thing's been okay, hasn't it? Well, I don't... shut up, Mark. Shut up. Don't say that. Bloody Maguire and Lindelof will go and knock each other out now, and Tammy Abraham will run through and score. But to be fair, since the substitutions have been made, chances have become fewer and far between. The way Scott and Fred are playing, I'm worried they will run out of steam very soon. If not in this match, the only cover we have is Matic, says George. And yeah, I mean, look, Matic can do a job though, can't he? I think. Don't put the ball out. Don't put the ball out. Play on. $15 minutes to go. Fred's got it. Oh, now there's an injury. Is it Pulisic? Bit of an injury-prone player, Pulisic, you know. McTominay went through him a little bit, but... Ollie needs to sit Fred in front of the defence and bring on Van der Beek for McTominay and play 4-1-3-2. The game's there for the taking, says Jamie Bourne. I agree with you, Jamie. I'm not gonna say that I don't. I'm not convinced that McTominay is any better than sticking Mark Noble there today. I mean, he's done a job. There's no disputing he's done a job, but player ratings is open on the website if you want to, if you know where the website is, theunitedstand.com. I am going to drop the link in the video description for you though, so you can just go and do it if you want. Remember to mark every player out of 10, 6 being average. Give the manager a rating and then put a star next to your man of the match. Cross comes in from Bruno, and then it will let you submit your scores. And then when we do my match reaction at the end, we can do all of them together. I can aggregate your scores. There's a free kick here. Is it a yellow card to Rashford? Yeah, links in the video description for the player ratings. It's in the 3rd paragraph down. And you can go and start doing your scores on there if you wish. Some of you leave it till towards the end, but it is open now. And the website is known to crash a little bit at times, but there's still plenty of time left in the game, so don't necessarily have to do it yet. UnitedStand.com for that. A couple of super chats. Richard Washington, I would love to know what Ollie said to Van der Beek to get him to join United. Must not have been promising game time. And Ollie needs to sit Fred in front of the... Yeah, we've done that from Jamie Brown. It's very stop-start this game now. And now McTominay's gone down. I don't know what's wrong with McTominay. Is it cramp? Hard to tell. Well done, Lindelof. Well done, Lindelof there. Well done. Now, Fred. Oh, Bruno, that's a dangerous ball. De Gea will have it. You could put Greenwood on, yeah? You could put Greenwood on. Mark, says Zane. At least Arsenal play exciting football, even though we have Borat as our goalkeeper. I think there's this thing in the tail here for one of these teams. I don't think it's going to finish 0-0. This ref is a son of a beach, says Jenks. And my feeling, Maguire back as captain, United back as spineless, says Gunderson. Well, you know what? I thought it was a penalty to Chelsea. And Jorginho's like Bruno. He probably would have scored it. And then, you know, where's United's ability to come back into it? I don't think Pogba's looked good since he came on. Cavani's had absolutely nothing apart from that cross. Go on, Pogba. No. 12 minutes to go. Nice by Bruno. Let's whip it. Let's whip it. Corner. It's funny, isn't it? Thiago Silva up against Cavani, both coming in from the same club. Monaco. PSG. Bruno has been out of the game since being on the right wing, says Salah Ahmed. I think Bruno's in a very disappointing game. Bruno's been very good. His passing's been fantastic. You know, his passing's sometimes a bit off because he takes a lot of risks. But Bruno with the corner. Edge of the box. Fred. Bruno. He wanted Luke Shaw to make the run. Thanks for the contribution. One Formula and Daughters. Lindelof. Pogba. Why didn't he give it to Maguire? It was Maguire, that's why. There was somebody on the edge of the box that Pogba could have gone to and he went for the shot. And then I've seen it's Harry Maguire. So he was definitely right to go for the shot. Oh. It's just very scrappy from United today. And ZX coming on for Pulisic. Greenwood's going to come on for the last 10 here. So we'll see no Van der Beek today. Pogba. Maguire to Luke Shaw. What is that from McTominay? Fucking shite, that is. He shouldn't be on the pitch. Just put Fred as a CDM and take McTominay off because he's been crap today. I mean, have I missed something today? I mean, are people going to give McTominay some like a 7 out of 10 or something? Because to me, I just think he's just... I don't think he's done anything particularly good. Poor old Donny van der Beek. Sad to see. Go on, Wan-Bissaka. Why is Wan-Bissaka gone on the floor then? You didn't even get the bloody free kick. Well up, Lindelof. Oh, he's giving the free kick. What's Wan-Bissaka doing there? Greenwood's on for... Hold on. McTominay. Good. Good. Come on, United. Fred. Chelsea are just reading this a bit too easy at the moment. Come on, Bruno. McTominay's been terrible, says Mohammed. I would agree with you there, mate. Martial has been non-existent since coming on, says Biggie Third. And Mark, what does Van der Beek need to do to play a game, says Vignesh. Yeah, it's a weird one. We've had this before. I remember when Mkhitaryan signed as well, it was like this under Mourinho. But here's Chelsea with Kante. Only 7 minutes to go. Reece James. Cross. Well out by Wan-Bissaka. This is the problem with our CDM. McSauce and Fred have to play as a duo, or they're not good enough. Means we have to sacrifice creativity and quality, says Mr. Glenn Johnson. It's starting to head towards a draw, isn't it? Let's not let's call a spade on this. Five minutes to go. 6 minutes to go. Corner for Chelsea. What would you do if Chelsea nicked this now? I mean, realistically, it would be... I think it'd just be a missed opportunity. I just said there, I just tweeted it out. I just feel that the momentum was killed by the team that we started with. It's almost like we didn't start playing until half an hour in. It's not a foul, ref. You can't just stand in front of the ball. I think that's a foul. It is. He's given it, but... So Chelsea have a chance to just whack a ball in here. Bloody hell. Rashford, what are you doing trying to run away from the edge of your penalty box? Sloppy from United, this. Need to be very careful. Reece James, bloody hell. United just a little bit sloppy here, and it's another corner for Chelsea. We're switching off. Maybe tiredness for some of these players from the PSG game. Four minutes to go. Cross comes in. Cavani heads it away. Edge of the box. And it goes over the bar. Thank goodness for that. But it's not looking good for United to actually get up the other end and win this. It's been pretty disappointing since the substitutions. And I just think a lot of United's energy is just not being there throughout this game, and I do think that a lot of the tone was set by the team that we've sent out, and it's been very difficult for us to get a foothold in this game. And to be fair to Chelsea, I think Chelsea have defended looking to keep a clean sheet. Greenwood with the cross, headed away by Aspilicueta. Bruno, overhead kick, Luke Shaw got in his way a bit. Come on, United. See if we can just get another chance. Lindelof coming forward. He's done well. It's Greenwood on the left-hand side. Put it in. Put it in. Oh, Cavani! Blocked. And then Ziyech wins it well. And does well. .3 minutes to go. God, I think this game has just not been a pleasant game, has it, really? It's not been a game that you can say that you deserve to win either side, but it's one of those games where you'd love to win it. Reece James up against Luke Shaw. Turns him inside and out. Another catch it, catch it, catch it. Catch it, David. Yes. Good catching, David. Good catching. The cross by Greenwood. Cavani does well. I don't think it would have gone in, to be fair, but good block by Thiago Silva. Is there another chance for United here? Ah, terrible ball by Lindelof. Now we've got it back. Rashford into Pogba. Fred's the ball. Move it, Fred. Fred! A few super chats here. Ollie reminds me of a talented team player who shows potential but is massively inconsistent, says Robbo FM. Mr. Glenn Johnson is spot on. Also, we need a pair to cover for vulnerable. Pogba's got it. Edge of the box. CDM, says Sean Finity. Cross again. Martial has been crap. We need a real number 9, says Ahmed. Bruno must surely get frustrated not having the more experienced players on from the start, says Ninja Smurf United. Well, we're into the last 10 seconds of the normal time now. There might be about 4 minutes added on, to be fair. Wan-Bissaka's got it on the far side. He's not got a left foot. Where's the cross? Fred. Yeah. Bruno. Rashford. Oh, what a save by Mendy and a fantastic shot by Rashford. I mean, I don't know whether it was a fantastic save, but it was a good save. I think most keepers are going to make this save, to be fair. But, yeah, keeper's going to make that save. It's one for the cameras. Both teams have been shocking in the final third, says DBX. 4 minutes added on. One's on. Greenwood. Luke Shaw's got it. Reece James all over Rashford there. Nothing given from the ref. It's going to take something special for United. Or Chelsea. Well done, Greenwood. Is that not a foul on Bruno, ref? Kepa wouldn't have made that save, says Tom. Yeah, they had to go and buy a bloody keeper, didn't they? Little 1-2 into Bruno. Pogba. Go on, make the runs, make the runs. Greenwood on the left-hand side. Oh, Too easy there. Too easy. 2 minutes to go, Fred. Pogba. There's a little ball there. And there's a goal kick. I think that's going to be probably it. Very, very, very frustrating game, this, to be honest. Very frustrating game. Remember, you can do your player ratings through unitedstand.com. I've dropped the link in the video description for that. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being average. You can do it that way there. And also, we'll be doing that on the match reaction show straight afterwards. Please subscribe if you're new, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We've only got 1 minute left here. Ref's played on with Ziyech. It's Chelsea on the attack. Kante. Good tackle, Fred. Go, go, go. Feed him. Go on, Greenwood. Always comes on his left side. Pogba. Switch, switch, switch. Come on. Last 45 seconds. No. We're back on the halfway line. One last attack. Come on. Whip it in. Whip it in. Wan-Bissaka. Crap. Can't even beat the first man. If Valiant approached this game with fear, we would have won, says Alarich. I actually agree with that. I'm going to talk about it on my match reaction. I think the way we've approached this game it was wrong. Bruno. Cross. Reece James. He's going to blow. He's going to blow. Maguire. Rashford. Oh, for fuck's sake. Just blow, ref. Absolute shite. Crap. Ollie's there smiling. Ah, mate, I don't agree with you there. I don't know what you're smiling about. We've fucking drawn at home. That's 2 losses and a draw at home. Fucking attitude all wrong to smile about that. I think we approached that game with fear. I'm not happy with that. So basically, we've won 2, lost 2, and drawn 1. We've got 7 points from the first 5. I don't think that's good enough. We've got to go to Arsenal. We've got Arsenal at home next week. And then we've got Everton. What are we going to do against Arsenal? We're going to do the same fucking thing. We're going to play, like, to not lose. We wasted an hour of that game. I don't think that's a good result at all. I think that's a real wasted opportunity because of the way we approach that game. It's a rubbish draw. I don't think it's a good result. I think everyone will go, well, it's improvement. And he'll be like, oh, Chelsea's a hard team. It's a very hard game when you don't turn. I'm pissed off with that. I think he's, he had the right to pick the team he picked, but I think he made a mistake. Look, I'm not Ollie out. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I'm not happy with that result at all. I will pick up with it in the match reaction. We can talk through it there. Remember to do your player ratings. I'm very interested to see what your player ratings are going to be. UnitedStand.com for that, or go through the link in the video description. I'll put the match reaction link in the top line of the title, and we'll convene for the match reaction stream in about a minute or 2 on that link. I'll see you in a moment. Thanks for watching.